Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Detroit Tigers, game number 2. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, it is our ace, Brian Woo. And on the right, one of my favorite players on the Tigers, he's up and coming, Parker Meadows. Let's go, baby. And let's start it off with the starting lineup first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in center field, Victor Robles. Let's get off to a good start. If you can get a hit at your first at-bat, that definitely sets the tone for the rest of the Mariners. Let's go, Victor. Congratulations on the 2-year extension. We're happy to have you. We love you. Let's go, Victor. Batting second, playing second base. Has a problem defending, but has gotten better. Got the double play, arguably the defensive play of the year just a couple days ago. We missed your bat and your defense yesterday. Jorge Polanco. Tridents up. This would be a very good unexpected surprise if you can go yard today. Let's go, Polo. The boos are behind you. We need you. Let's go, Polo. Batting third, playing left field, Randy Rosarina. And since Randy's come aboard, the vibe has changed. Same thing with Victor Robles. Great to have those guys with Julio in the no-fly zone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching tonight for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Top 3 catcher in baseball today, leading home runs in his rookie year in 2022, leading the league in home runs last year in 2023, and it looks like he's going to lead the league in home runs in 2024. You are getting into rare air when you do things like that, like Mike Piazza country and territory. It's our guy, Big Dumper. And I feel bad for George Kirby having to get matched up with Garver as catcher. Everyone deserves to have Cal Raleigh catching, and hopefully we can get a big dub today. Yesterday, it was all Tigers. Today, all Mariners. Batting fifth, DHing for the Mariners until those legs are 100%, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. We might not have the no-fly zone with you in center field just yet, but you can still help the team out with some electricity with the bat. Let's go, Julio Rodriguez. And if you really want to get on our good side, tridents up, go yard tonight or tomorrow. Let's go, Julio. Batting sixth, playing first base, Luke Raley. I think I would rather have Justin Turner at first base, but Luke does need to play. I see you, Luke. Luke Nukem. Hey, let's get some deep balls here today. Batting seventh, playing right field, Mitch Haniger. One of the lowest rated players in right field at the beginning of the year, but has had 2 walk-offs for the Mariners in a span of 10 days. And you never know when that unexpected hero comes out of the works to find his way. Let's go, Mitch Haniger. Batting eighth, playing third base, had like 4 errors yesterday, played terrible. And we are getting to a point where we may have to start booing Rojas, or he might need to be benched. I really like the guy. I think he's great. I think, he batted 300, 350 in April and May, but since then, he hasn't really been that good. He's been very inconsistent, with the bat. And as of late, he's been a liability, not an asset at third base. You better pick it up. Otherwise, Dylan Moore is going to take your job once J.P. Crawford comes back to play shortstop. Let's go, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. You got to step up, baby. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, it's Demo, Dylan Moore. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 5-1 record, an ERA of 2.27, one of our best, Brian Woo! Let's go, baby. It's Woo country today. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Detroit Tigers. Gave us an ass whooping yesterday with the best pitcher in baseball, Tarek Skubal, and all their hitters came alive, including Kerry Carpenter with 2 home runs. Let's see what we can do here today. Leading off for the Tigers in right field, Matt Vierling. Batting second, DHing again tonight with 2 home runs in his debut. Welcome back, Kerry Carpenter. I can't have 2 home runs against Brian Woo today, though. You had 2 against Kirby yesterday. Hey, if you go yard once, so be it, but you can't go twice. Batting third, second baseman, Cole Key. A nice and up-and-coming lefty as well. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, playing third base, Gio Urshela. Had himself a game yesterday. Anytime you can go 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 against anybody, you are raking. Batting fifth, playing first base, Fly Madris. Batting sixth, playing center field, my favorite Tiger, Parker Meadows. Batting seventh, playing left field, Justin Henry Malloy. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for the Tigers, Zach McKinstry. And batting ninth, with the stash from the past, Jake Rogers. And on the mound for the Tigers with a 1-2 record, an ERA of 4.57, it is Bo Brisky. We should have a good opportunity to win here today since Skubal is not on the mound. And when Skoo is on the mound, it seems like everyone steps their game up. Not saying that they won't step up today for Bo Brisky, but we definitely have a better chance winning here today than we did yesterday. Let's go Mariners. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. It's the most important thing you can do for yourself every single day that you wake up. Addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that I've gone through, and I know a lot of y'all have gone through it in the past or are dealing with it right now. So if you can make some minor adjustments to your daily routine, recognize what your triggers are, the people that you need to be hanging out with and the people you need to step away from, get some exercise. If you're not exercising, get out there and get that vitamin D, get that sun. It makes you feel great. It's not something that you really want to do when you're thinking about it, but once you get out there, you feel great, especially once you come back, you feel accomplished. If you're not eating healthy, eat healthier. Cut back on the fast food. It costs a lot of money for fast food nowadays, about the same amount for eating healthy. Back in the day, it was I'm going to go get Taco Bell. I'm going to go get McDonald's because it was cheaper. But with inflation and everything that's going on now, there's no excuse. Eat a little bit healthier, feel a little bit better, lose a little bit weight, look good, feel good, play good, baby. And number 3, make sure you're listening to 30 minutes of music every single day. It's got positive effects for your mental health. Spend time with your pets, your friends, and make sure you're hanging out here with the NWSF, baby. We're going to go for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and we're always going to be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. You know what time it is, baby? It's Brian Woo time. Let's fucking get it. Let's go Mariners. Let's go. I'm ready. Matt in the building. What's good? Good to see you. You have tomorrow off since the game will be on at 10 a.m. and you're in Hawaii and it's 7 a.m. So you can sleep in, get your workout in. Glad to have you today. And you got the day off tomorrow. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Anything matters, whether it be $1 in the donos or smashing the like button, it all counts. Elliot, my boy in the building. What's good? Hey, Jurickson, Profar, and Cal Raleigh, the 2 most clutch players in baseball. Yes, sir. I'll take that graphic, and I had to send that to you. Let's go. Reflect in the building. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. Nice to be able to see players, that maybe, weren't really viewed a particular way. But as you start to see more of these graphics coming out from these pundits and nerds that love baseball like me and Reflect and Elliot, you start to realize that some players are underrated and they're actually a lot better than what most people might say about that particular player. I'm glad to see Jurickson Profar come back to San Diego, and I think he'll be a big X factor for you guys in the playoffs. I guarantee the Brewers, the Braves, all right, the Dodgers and the Phillies don't want anything to do with the Padres. I feel like the Padres and Mariners are almost like that equal type of team where we can be dangerous at times. Yes, we'll lose and we'll get our ass kicked from time to time, but I don't think anyone wants to see the Mariners in the playoffs, and I don't think anyone would want to see the Padres either. We might not be the team that's most likely to go, to the World Series or the NLCS or ALCS, but if we overachieve, you never know. The Padres and Mariners could go a little bit further than people think. Let's go. Daniel in the building. What's good? And the Tyler, the Creator post, I had to send that to you with that interview. I know you're a big Tyler guy, and he got that right on the head based on hip-hop and the rap game right now. Definitely oversaturated. There's a lot of followers, not a lot of creativity. Everyone sounds alike. Everyone dresses alike, and things were much different 20 years ago. Big facts. DX in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. I'm doing good. How are you? You get your workout in? I noticed that you had that post yesterday. Keep posting. Anytime you post about your workout, I'm going to like it. Anytime Matt ends up posting on doing some route running and going over play breakdowns, I'm going to like it. You guys make sure you support me, and guess what? I'm going to support you. Let's go, baby. Brisky on the mound. 0-1 pitch to Victor Robles. That one fouled off behind in the count. 0-2. Let's go, baby. MSU in the building. Good to see you. And hopefully we'll get a few more of the Tiger fans dropping in. And again, this is a safe place to watch games, and I feel there's not a lot of those on YouTube anymore. A lot of times people feel like they're getting ganged up on or bullied, or someone will come in here trying to be a keyboard warrior or a troll. We just want to make sure we have somewhere positive that we can call out things that need to be called out. Praise the players that are playing well, regardless if it's on our favorite team or the opposite team that's playing that day. Oh, Robles pulling that one. Foul. Behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's go, baby. But really, Victor is the tone setter, kind of like J.P. Crawford in the 1 hole back in the day, right? When J.P. got a hit right out of the gate, typically Julio did too. When Victor gets a hit right out of the gates, that usually leads to Randy, Cal, and Justin Turner getting hits as well. 1-2 pitch. Big strikeout. Big swing and a miss on Victor Robles. Great start there for Brisky and the Tigers. Next up, in the 2-hole, second baseman Jorge Polanco. A little odd selection to have Jorge in the 2-hole. I think I would have rather have Randy in the 2-hole, Cal in the 3-hole, Julio in the 4-hole, and then Jorge in the 5-hole. But let's see if this strategy works out for Scott Service today. Service was very suspect yesterday. And again, he's going to call some good games. He's going to make some great substitutions for pinch runners and pinch hitters from time to time. He has this problem on staying with guys too long and pulling guys too early. And that's a reason why a lot of people, are looking for another guy to come in at some point in the next couple of years to take over the reins. And I don't think George Kirby deserved to be in there as long as he was. He's starting to lose confidence in himself. And I don't like that. If anything, if you're going to have Mitch Garver pair up with someone, I'm sorry, but it should be Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller. You shouldn't have your best pitcher, arguably, throwing to the backup catcher. If you want to say he's number 2 behind Logan Gilbert, that's a fair assessment. You got 3 guys at the top. Logan Gilbert, the all-star this year, George Kirby, and then you got Brian Wu. And then the guys that need to pick it up are Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller. And every time to time, day to day, sometimes Castillo and Miller will play like a 1, 2, or 3. They'll play like Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu. But then other times, there's a reason why they're the 4th and 5th best pitchers on the team, even though the rotation might not reflect that. Let's go, baby. 1 away. Runner at first. First pitch to Randy Arozarena. Let's go, baby. And let's see if we can get Jorge over to second base early. Arozarena. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Let's get 20 within the first hour. Going to be an early one tomorrow. It's going to be a 10 a.m. game. But I'm ready for it. Already made the thumbnail. And I'm going to be locked and loaded, ready to go tomorrow. We win here today, we have a chance to win the series. We lose here today, we have a chance of getting swept, but I think that we'll play decent tomorrow, even though it is a 10 a.m. start, and usually at 10 a.m. we play like shit, so especially on the road, but we will see. You got the number one record since the All-Star break, baby. I see you. I got to send you those, different fan graphs and nerd stats whenever I see them. Randy chops that one foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Primo in the building. What's good? Always. Reflecting on many, many things in my life, just like the Seattle Mariners. But, I'm not really sure what agreement was in place, but I guarantee if you could talk to George Kirby like off camera, and ask him, not the politically correct statement, and saying, hey, this whole you and Garver thing, I guarantee he's not happy about it. But again, he has to try to be a good teammate, and it's out of his control because if Scott Service, if that's what he says he wants, and he thinks that's the best option, then that's what we have to go through until we fire him and get someone else to realize George Kirby to Mitch Garver is not good in any scenario whatsoever. Big swing and a miss, little foul tip, 3 balls and 2 strikes. I don't think I've ever seen a number 1 pitcher or number 2 pitcher get the backup catcher so regularly. And again, a lot of our guys don't have massive winning records. A lot of them are floating above 500, at 500, a game above 500, or a couple below 500, except for Brian Wu, because we lack run support. But still, help your guy out a little bit. We don't want George Kirby to lose his confidence. Popped up into center field, 2 away. Next up, it's my guy, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh, the MVP of the team in 2024, leading the team in RBIs, home runs, and almost every statistical category the Mariners have to offer. The best clutch hitter in the 7th inning and beyond. But the best thing about Cal Raleigh that I like is his leadership. It takes a lot to be able to be a good catcher. He's top 5 in Major League Baseball. I think a lot of us would say top 3. Salvador Perez and Adley Rutschman might have a better batting average, but Cal is on the brink of being able to lead the league in home runs since he was a rookie. He led the league in 2022 in home runs. He led last year in 2023, and it looks like he's going to be on pace to lead here in 2024. It's going to just be a matter of time before Cal Raleigh is in the All-Star game, and then at some point, even starting over Adley Rutschman. But we might have to wait a couple years. My boy Luis in the building. Hello, this is Luis calling on behalf of Verizon Fios. My boy, how are you? I missed you. It's been a minute. I've been seeing some of your posts with some of your food and your drinking shenanigans with friends. You look like you're living your best life with your wifey. I miss you. And like I said, there's been some people that I used to work with that I would love to be able to link up with. And there's some that I wouldn't really care to see ever again. But again, Louise, you are the man. I appreciate you. And the donos are always special when it ends up coming from someone that lives in my hometown state, that actually may not be into sports as much as me or some of us in the room, and that's okay. But just being able to support a friend when he knows that I'm doing my dream and my grind. Thank you so much, my guy. I appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. And I imagine you're still doing the car thing. And hopefully, if you are still doing the car thing, I hope you're ripping it up. And one thing about Luis that I've always liked is integrity. He obviously is, multicultural. He's bilingual. He can speak Spanish very well as English. And who knows, maybe a couple other languages that I don't know about. It's been a minute, right? But to be able to have that integrity in a field of work where there's a lot of liars and there's a lot of people that are just trying to get commission and trying to get paid, and they don't care about their cancels. But that's one thing that I do appreciate about you is, he may not be number 1, but number 1 back in the day was a false stat. The number 1 liar, the number 1 person that would lie to be able to try to get the most sales, but then never would tell you about how many cancels they had when they got their paycheck. And even though we might have not been number 1 that often, and maybe we were number 2 or number 4 or number 5 on a crew of 15 or 20, we did it the right way. And that's really what it's about. My boy, Luis, Fernando. Appreciate you. Hope everything is going good in your life. Anything that you want to see photo-wise, if you got a favorite artist, I know you love hip-hop as much as I do. So if there's a particular hip-hop artist or something that you want to see Jordan shoe-wise or Air Force Ones, you let me know, and I'll throw that up on the screen for you. My guy. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 Mariners and Tigers. Appreciate you, Louise. Let's see who's up next here for the Detroit Tigers. And what did I tell you guys, you Minnesota Viking fans? I told you fucked up and you shouldn't have picked J.J. McCarthy. Told you he was going to either be a bust or get injured. And lo and behold, he's out for the year. You could have had Michael Penix Jr. throwing to Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison got hurt again today. The Minnesota Vikings are going down the shitter. TJ Hawkinson, fantasy value, down the shitter. Jordan Addison, down the shitter. Jay Jetta, down the shitter. And I feel bad for the Vikings, but with all the injuries that Minnesota has had, they're probably going to finish last place, and it's probably going to be the Chicago Bears taking their spot for third in the division. We know the Packers and Lions are going to go at it, but sometimes karma's a bitch, and you go for a guy, right, that had an offense that ran the ball and played good defense, and you thought that was the best pick for your team. And, just like Drake May, I don't got a whole lot of confidence in him either on New England, and I think that you're going to start to see in the next few years how New England and Minnesota really derailed themselves in this draft. You could have ended up having a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix Jr., but you decided that the guy from Michigan that won the title was so much better, or you thought a guy, at North Carolina that was good a couple years ago, but his stats weren't really good last year. You thought those were going to be the right guys for your team, and I think you're going to find out that it's going to be a long, long road for Patriot fans and Viking fans in the years to come. And I don't wish injury on any type of person like J.J. McCarthy. Hey, I salute you. I wish the best of recovery. But again, Minnesota, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, these are the types of things that sports karma, ends up happening. It ends up happening right away or later on in the year or in the following year. And I feel bad for Minnesota fans, but you brought this on yourself. Bottom of the first, 0-0 Mariners and Tigers. In the box is Matt Bierling. Let's go, baby. I get them hooked up. I got 2 or 3 of them. Just depends on the styles. But I got a friend that is actually an owner at one of the dog facility places where I get my dog groomed and washed. And he hooks me up with them. And usually with him, there's going to be multiple places that you can end up getting the Mariner do-rags. Sometimes you'll be able to find them at the games. Sometimes they'll do them as giveaways. Sometimes they'll do them for Bark at the Park with the dogs. Sometimes you'll be able to find them, on the Mariners website through the team store, depending on the time of year or what year it is. But I got both. I have 3 of them, and this one, and then 2 of the older style, and I got them as gifts. So I didn't buy them; I got them for free. So I don't know what to tell you. Go to this particular place and you can get one. Throw to first, got him. Bierling down, 1 away. But I got to be swaggy on the broadcast, Yeah, but again, if you ever, see anybody that goes to the Bark in the Park, sometimes they'll do the Bark in the Park, and you can end up, they usually give them to the dogs sometimes as well. So you just have to keep your eye out if you are looking for a bandana or do-rag of the Mariners. And I imagine there might be some vintage ones on eBay, and eBay is always a good place to look to see what they have available. But again, Bark at the Park. I know they've given away some for the dogs, as well as, the fans, depending on if you want to wear them or not. You just have to kind of keep your eye out and look. Bottom of the first, 0-0. Next up, 0-1 count to Kerry Carpenter. $5 holla. Let's go. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $5 holla. Appreciate you. We're at 25.75 to go. Yeah, and it's sad, to be able to see, guys get hurt, as a rookie. But I just never thought that was a good fit, for Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson. Michael Penix Jr. is like the dream fit. You could have had Michael Vick or Tua on the Vikings. And for whatever reason, you're like, well, Michael got hurt quite a bit when he was younger. We're going to pass. And then lo and behold, the guy that you draft has an injury that's season ending. Coincidence? I don't know. But again, I have no real faith in Drake May or J.J. McCarthy, and I hope Drake May doesn't get hurt either. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Colt Keith. Brian Wu wheeling and dealing. But again, that's when you end up having a team that's in the middle of the country and they buy into the hype of Michigan. And it's like those guys watched Michigan, right? But they didn't really watch the games. And obviously, if you watch the games, there was nothing that J.J. McCarthy showed in college to make you think that he was going to be a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. He was just a game manager. They ran the ball with Blake Corum and 2 or 3 other running backs. They played excellent defense, one of the top Ds in college football, and that's what they did. You didn't really see J.J. McCarthy throw for 300, 400, 500 yards in college. So it was a kind of a head-scratching move that they thought that this guy, he just has a championship ring, and then that was supposed to be good enough? And that's when it shows you certain people in certain teams, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They base what they want for attributes in the wrong way. Yes, I get it. He's a national champion, but I guarantee if Michael Penix Jr. was starting and he was on the Vikings, not only would the Viking fan base be happier, you would get better stats out of Jetta, Addison, and Hawkinson. I feel real bad for Minnesota. They fucked up. Popped up. Victor Robles in center field. There we go. I like that, baby. An easy 1, 2, 3 inning. Bye-bye, Matt Gearling. Bye-bye, Gary Carpenter. And bye-bye, Colt Keith. What a great start for our boy, Brian Wu. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. You already know what it is. We got to get comeback from that ass whooping yesterday, which was not fun. Especially for a lot of y'all, you guys can turn the game off. I'm a full-time streamer, so when you end up losing 15-1, and most people turned it off, before it ended, I don't blame you. But again, I got to look at every single bright side of any type of situation. See who's playing hard at the end of the game when they're getting their ass kicked. And that really develops a lot of, poise and moxie and character. And I can really build on character guys because that's who I want to be around. That's who I want to root for. Guys that can have the character. And you can always tell when people have adversity, you either crack, right, and you break apart, or you end up, finding a way, to get the best of your abilities, even in a tough situation. Big facts. Next up for the Mariners, DHing in the 5-hole till his legs get healthy, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second in the 6-hole, first baseman, Luke Raley. Where's Justin Turner? And batting third, right fielder, Mitch Haniga. Let's go, baby. Black sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's go. Go, baby. Let's see where we're at. And let me take a quick look. And I appreciate Elliot, Lauren, and Matt for liking and retweeting the post. If anyone else has a Twitter/X that would do that for me as well, that'll get us a few more people here in the room. Wow, Matthew Judon going to the Falcons because he doesn't like the head coach. Things are breaking down in New England. You just lost your best player on defense, and now the Falcons get another weapon. Wow, that's going to be big for the ATL. Judon is a stud. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, and again, we're not going to ever root for guys to get hurt, but as soon as they drafted him, I was like, oh, mistake. Just, and I knew Drake May was going to New England, and I think that's a mistake as well. But I think with Drake May, they don't really have a lot of supporting cast. Belichick isn't there. You got a brand new coach. You literally have no weapons at wide receiver, running back, tight end, O-line, defense. Now Judon's gone. Like, you literally have nothing to work with. So it's like you're almost bound to fail. Even if Drake May is a good player, who is he going to throw to? Who is he going to make plays with? There's not really a whole lot there in this rebuilding process for New England. Little dribbler, Julio. Yeah, baby. Looks like those legs are working pretty good. Let's go. But again, sometimes when you see teams draft players, they draft players that are close to them, right? So obviously with New England on the East Coast, at North Carolina, there was Drake May, right? Minnesota Vikings in the middle of the country. Could have had Michael Penix Jr., but supposedly the Pac-12 stinks and we weren't good, and we were never good, right? But, well, we're going to go for J.J. McCarthy instead because he won the Natty, and he's close to us at Michigan. You can definitely tell there's a bias out of certain teams that end up drafting guys close to them instead of actually going for the best talented player, even if they're unfamiliar with Michael Penix Jr. or some of these guys that are a little bit farther away from them. And those are the teams that are going to pay the price for picking the wrong player. It's going to make them go backwards in their growth. And which is sad because when they ended up getting their new coach, Minnesota looked like they were on their way. But then Dalvin Cook, bye-bye. Injuries to Jay Jetta. Addison just got hurt. They had an Oregon Duck player that lost his life, obviously with a tragic DUI accident. It just feels like, when it rains, it pours. And it seems like every single bad thing that could happen to the Minnesota Vikings is literally happening now within the last month. Like if you go down the list, they've had 6 horrible things, including obviously one of our Oregon Duck players that lost his life. Didn't even get a chance to play in his first game for the Vikings. And then since then, it's like every single thing is starting to make that team crumble. I feel bad for them, but they kind of brought it on themselves, besides obviously the death of our Oregon Duck player. We obviously don't wish death on anybody, and that was a terrible accident. And I'm hoping that Minnesota can turn it around, but what a trying time for that particular fan base and franchise. Top of the second, 0-0 Mariners and Tigers, runner at first. And you already know who it is, Luke Raley. 1-2 pitch, crushes that one, fading, foul. Let's go, Luke. Luke Nukem. Nuke Raley, let's go. Yeah, I don't like that he got hurt, but again, he really wasn't that good. For you to be able to believe that that's the guy. There we go, Luke. Nice base knock into right field. Julio goes over to second base. But for me right now, looking at all the names, I mean, it's pretty clear to me, who are the 3 most talented players in the draft are going to be most likely. Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. Those are going to be the 3 best quarterbacks, and it's still going to be some time where they're going to struggle and they're going to end up making mistakes. But I got a lot more faith in those 3 quarterbacks than any of the others that were in that draft. JJ, even if he didn't get hurt, Drake May, and any of the other quarterbacks in the draft. My personal feeling on it. So top of the second, runners at first and second with no outs. Let's go, baby. Time to rake. Next up, our boy, Mitch Haniga. Let's go, Mitch. No Justin Turner in the lineup today, but as you look at the lineup, much better than yesterday's lineup. It's like almost Scott Service just gave up. It's like, oh, Scooball's pitching. We're going to have our worst lineup so that way that we can keep the best guys healthy for games 2 and 3 and try to win those games. Because obviously nothing went right for us. We couldn't hit, we couldn't pitch, and we ended up getting absolutely destroyed. Probably the worst loss of the season for the Mariners yesterday, 15-1 loss. But it shows you Scooball is the best pitcher in baseball. That is facts. Let's go, baby. Yeah. He's definitely not 100% yet. That's why he's not in center field. I think right now, just based off looking, he looks about 70 to 80%, where he can run pretty hard to first base, but there's not going to be, he doesn't want to push it, too much, because we don't want to have him, re-aggravate the injury or get some kind of, Achilles or, some type of injury to the leg. So we want him to be able to, get to 100%. And so if we have to have him at DH for even a month before he's ready, I'm okay with that, as long as his bat starts ramping up. Let's go. $3 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $3 holla. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We'll get some photos here in a minute. John in the building. What's good? Everything falling apart for New England. But again, not being able to get along, with the head coach. It's not the same as Bill Belichick and company. And I already saw a couple camp practices where Judon walked off and away from the coach. So there was already a disconnect right there. And you're supposed to respect your coach, but obviously they don't. And, I hope the best for New England, but, thank God they had their 20-year stretch with Brady, Belichick, and Gronk. But it may be a very long time before New England is relevant again. Top of the second, 0-0, runners at first and second with no outs, 2-2 count to Mitch Haniger. And thank you, Sarah and Megan, for the like and the share on the Twitter/X post. Thank you so much. And let me see what we got. And we got Sarah, Megan, Elliot, Lauren, and Matt. And if you could do me a solid, Megan, and like the post as well so we could have 5 and 5, that would be fantastic. I saw that you just ended up retweeting it there and sharing it. Thank you so much. Popped up. One away. Nothing out of Mitch Haniger there. And we'll be getting photos here shortly. Next up, the player that has been struggling the most for the Mariners and now is a liability at third base, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Come on, my guy. I like you. Everything about you I like. You play hard. You know, again, your bat was good in April and May. You were the only guy batting 300 to 350. But since then, you've struggled, and I feel the struggles with the bat have led to some focus issues at third. And again, you could have been, counted with 4 errors yesterday. It's not like we were going to beat Scooball, but again, you want to make sure at least the defense is on point. And we've already had problems with this particular player where it's a love-hate relationship where you got booed for about a month and a half, but you have been able to get singles, doubles, RBIs, and clutch homers since then. And on top of that, you had the defensive play of the year with a double play from Polo to Leo Rivas. So again, you're starting to get better. Garver, not so much, but this is really a player that needs to step up, because if you don't, Dylan Moore is going to take your spot, because Dylan is a floater. He's a platoon guy. So he can play second base. He can play shortstop. He can play third. He can play first. He can play right field. So if there's a player that ends up sucking and we need to find someone that can play better defense and better offense, that might be the guy that takes your job, because once obviously JP comes back to play shortstop, Demo is out of a position, right? So we're going to be thinking maybe third base, but hopefully Josh can get back to his old ways, because I don't want to boo a player. I want to make sure that he succeeds. And I think the Tigers, are they making a pitching change already? They went to commercial break. Let's see. But it looked like they had a mound visit there, and we'll have to take a look. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate you for the like there. And let's see where we're at the likes. We want to get to 20 within the first hour. Where are we? We are at 15. So we got about half of the people. Now we're at 17. We need 3 more out of the other 10 people that are in the room that haven't smashed the like button to do it. 3 out of 10, 3 out of 9, and then we're there. Let's go, baby. Yeah, Jared Mayo, former player. I haven't got a chance to talk to him as often as I did, obviously before. He's been overworked, I think a little bit, depressed, not being appreciated at work and working crazy fucking hours, not having a whole lot of time off. And, hopefully things will get a little bit better for him. But once he actually checks his feed and notices that Judon is on the Falcons, I mean, that's one thing that they need to improve if they want to make the playoffs or either win the division over the Bucs and Saints or get a wild card, is the defense. The O-line is good. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, pretty good. Coach and OC might need to be improved at some point, but really the weak link for the Falcons is the defense. And if you can get a guy like Judon to come in and he's motivated, that could be a guy that could make all the difference for Atlanta. And, coming to that team, he might be the best defensive player on the team, and he just joined the team a couple minutes ago. So I imagine that he'll be very excited about that. Braves haven't been as good as they were traditionally, so maybe a little bit down on the Braves this year, but at least the Falcons are on the up and up. Let's go. Appreciate you. And we'll be doing a lot of those. And again, the Lions are going to be very, very scary. I feel like the Niners and Lions, are going to be the teams that a lot of NFC people are going to be hunting. They're going to be hunting the top dogs. And I wouldn't be shocked one bit, if we see a Niners or a Detroit Lion NFC championship game, or if one of those two teams ends up making the Super Bowl in the next couple years. Could even be this year. Top of the second, 0-0. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. And caught. Line drive to right field. We leave 2 stranded. Let's go to the bottom of the second. and we're still knotted up here at 0. Unfortunate that we couldn't get anything there, but at least a good sign that we're getting some base knocks early instead of having to wait late in the matchup. Yeah, and I'll be definitely doing a lot of NFL reactions, but I may not be doing as many. Before I would try to push out as many as I can, but I'm going to try to make a better thumbnail, with me on it, and with different graphics with arrows and obviously the game behind me. And so it's going to take a little bit more time to be able to do those. So I'll probably, instead of doing 8 to 10 reaction videos a week, I'll probably end up doing like 4, and I'll choose like the 4 best games, whether it be Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, or something that's in between. And then I'll take the time to make a nicer thumbnail, which will get us more views. And then if there's another game where I have time to pump it out, I will. But again, I think, we're probably going to scale back on how many that we do. And sometimes less is more, especially if I have a better thumbnail with those as well. So definitely looking forward to the reaction videos in the NFL and college football season. And I will be doing some college football reactions as well as live streams too. So we'll be very, very busy. We're going to be getting into the Mariners, obviously going into the playoff push. And then we're going to be doing a lot of NFL as well as college football. And then once all that ends, we'll transition into the NHL and the Kraken as well as the other NHL teams. Let's get into some photos here. See who's up next here for the Tigers. Next up for the Tigers, third baseman Gio Urshela. Batting second, first baseman Bly Madris. And batting third in the 6-hole, center fielder Parker Meadows. Let's go. Yeah, I saw that it seems like it wasn't serious, thank God. But that team is building something very, very special. And it started off, obviously, with the head coach, trickled down to Jared Goff and the running backs. Now you're starting to see Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best in the world. And there's a reason that I went Detroit heavy last year, because I believed in them. And again, sometimes you got to be able to catch it like a year early before everyone knows how good they are. And if you can catch a team right at the beginning stages, sometimes you can creep up on others in the league before they actually understand that team is the real deal Holyfield. And I'm definitely excited to see where the Lions go. And based on their talent level, they get better defensive players. It wouldn't be shocking if they make a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. And it wouldn't be shocking if they made a couple more NFC championship games in the next couple years. They're going to have about a 5 to 6 year window, and then they're going to have to rebuild again because they're not going to be able to afford everyone. But I like the Lions' chances of doing some big things here in the near future. Woo, right down the middle for a strike. I like that 0-1 count, and we'll get photos linked up here in a moment. We'll end up getting something for my boy Louise, even if he's not in the room anymore. Megan, let me know what you want. If you want Anson in the regulars, reflect you as well. I got you. Behind in the count 0-2. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the second, 0-0. Brian Wu looking great. But anyone looks great when they got Cal Raleigh catching. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is inside. Good frame job. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Didn't get the call, but he will. I mean, you got to think, if they actually had a fucking defense, like if they actually had a defense, they could have went to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they probably would have lost, but they could have gotten there, and it shows you with no defense, they almost beat the Niners, who always have the most well-rounded team in the NFC. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, O-line, defense, D-line, coaching, play calling. That's why the Niners are typically in the NFC Championship game or in the consideration of being the best team in the NFC every year. They're number 1 or number 2. At the lowest, number 3. They're always up there. And it starts obviously with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and company, right? But with Detroit with no fucking defense, even though they got a couple guys, but 2 out of 11 ain't going to cut it. They need to start getting to a point where they have 8 guys out of 11. And if they can have 8 out of 11, that will be good enough to be able to match up, against the Niners or even an AFC team like the Chiefs. And you never know what could happen. But they still got quite a few holes to plug in on that Detroit defense. But if they can ever, get to the point where they match that offense, that's when they may be able to win the Super Bowl or at least get to a Super Bowl and compete, for obviously the Lombardi. Bottom of the second, 0-0 Mariners and Tigers. 2 away, 1-1 count to my guy, Parker Meadows, maybe my favorite player here on Detroit. 6'5", up-and-coming young player, singles, doubles, triples, home runs, good defender. Can rob home runs like Julio at the wall. Definitely got themselves a stud, a young stud in Parker Meadows. I mean, hell, if I put him on the thumb, I like him. Let's go. See you, Parker. Looking good. Meadows popped up. Robles is there in center field. Nice catch. 2 away. Yeah, and they were aggressive all year, and that was the mentality. Go for it on 4th down, 4th and inches, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Fuck it. Bite the kneecaps off. Let's go for it. And it worked, for about 90% of the season. But when you get to the playoffs and things are a little bit magnified and you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl or get to the NFC Championship game, even if you're an aggressive team like that, sometimes you got to dial it back and look at situational football and say, yeah, this has been our MO all year, but sometimes you got to be able to be smart. And, instead of taking, let's say, 3 chances on 4th down, maybe do 1 and then kick the field goal on the other 2 opportunities and see if the defense, can play things out. But also, too, if you don't trust your defense, which I don't think Dan Campbell really did, that's why he was so aggressive. If the defense was good like the Niners, I think that they would have been more conservative. But I think it's a kind of a mentality for Goff and that offense to give them confidence, but also not wanting to tell the defense, hey, I don't really believe in you to get the stop, so we're going to be extra aggressive here. And they were, and it worked most of the time, but it did bite them against San Francisco. And if they would have been conservative, I think they would have won that game. I think I totally agree with that as well. Let's go, baby. Captain Oreo in the building. What's good? My boy loves Air Jordans and shoes with Louise, so let me get some Air Jordans here on the screen, even if he's not in the building. I'll go with my favorite shoes as a kid. And I didn't have very many pairs of Jordans growing up because they were so expensive. Not many kids could afford $200, $250 shoes, back in, 1995, 1997. But there was 2 kids at the school that had these, at least the original ones, right, with the black and then the red on the bottom. And I had these, and then we had one other kid at the school that had the North Carolina white, black leather, North Carolina blue bottoms. And they were amazing. Appreciate you, Louise. Little that bunt attempt. Oh, look at Victor Robles. Scott Service got my text message. I said, you know what? We need to start bunting a little bit more. And lo and behold, Victor Robles in the top of the 3rd, they said he was out. He looked safe. Let's get a replay here. I think the bunting spot was pretty spot on there, too. Let's take a look. Is he safe? He looks safe to me. And again, if you're having problems hitting, even if you're a leadoff hitter, right, like Victor Robles, right, even if that's the case, sometimes if you can bunt down first base, but bunt down third base, there we go, baby. Like I said, you just have to be able to have situational baseball. And again, we know Victor can rake it, for a single, double, triple, and an occasional home run. But, getting that element of surprise with bunting, I think that's something that the Mariners are lacking. And if they do it a little bit more, I think that it could really pay dividends for us. Looks like a tie goes to the runner is what it's supposed to be. Take a look again. I mean, the foot is down, and then the ball, it hits the back of the mitt. I would say, to me, looking at that footage, it looks like he is safe barely. Like if it's a tie goes to the runner. And it looks like ultimately a tie, or maybe 0.001 second, the foot hit the bag before it hit the back of the mitt. I mean, it was that close. Bang, bang. So I say he's safe. And again, if I think he's out, I'm going to call him out. But in this particular play, I'm going to go safe. I think he's in there before the ball hits the back of that mitt. Nice bunt attempt. I like it. We're at 28. Let's go, baby. 72 to go. But my boy Louise loves shoes and loves Jordans. Appreciate you, Louise, even if you're not in the room. Still, I love you and I appreciate you. And anyone that, I used to work with that I haven't seen in a while that's going to do something like that, it's just Runners out. Boo. Bad call. Boo. He was safe. With the Shaq? Okay. The good old days when basketball actually was good. Jordan and Shaq. Appreciate you, Louise. Robles pissed, just smashed his helmet. Could have been safe there. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco, the switch hitter. Top of the third, 0-0 with one out. And then let me know what you want to do for photos, Megan, and reflect, and I got you. Big swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the third, 0-0, Mariners and Tigers, 1 away. Salmons on the mound, Polo in the box. Crazy that they had to, Brisky went out real early, but if that's what they think is the best move, so be it. Pitches outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes, count is full. Little dribbler, throw to first, got him, 2 away, down goes Polo. But I'll show you a couple pairs of Jordans that are on my all-time list. Obviously the ones that I had when I was a kid, and this was back in 1996, 97, way back in the day. I see you, MJ. These ones are always clean. You get the little bit of the splashed paint look with the grays. Very clean. And obviously with these as well. But it was very unique at the time. You never really saw shoes that looked like this back in the day. And I feel that these designs are still some of the best that Jordan has to offer, even today. All right, I got you. Appreciate you, John. Shout out to John, Megan, Sarah, Elliot, Lauren, and Matt with the like and the share on the post. Appreciate you. All right, I got you. 1-2 pitch. The Randy Arosarena. Let's go, Randy. Arosarena. Two-two pitch to Randy. Arosarena. Salmons. 2-2 pitch. Pitch on the corner. Should have been strike 3, but called ball on the high-end corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. Let's go, Randy. Three-two pitch. And he walked him. There we go. To send Louise a message. Appreciate the support. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning with that easy out there. Let's see who's up next for the Tigers. At least it's not going like it was yesterday when we got absolutely obliterated. 0-0 is a lot better than 15-1, let me tell you. Appreciate you. Anything you want to be able to see reflect, I got you. All right, let's see who's up here next for the Tigers. Hopefully we can start raking here shortly. We win this game, we're going to have a good chance for tomorrow. Next up in the 7-hole, left fielder Justin Henry Malloy. Batting second this inning in the 8-hole, shortstop Zach McKinstry. And batting third with the stash from the past, catcher Jake Rogers. Let's go Mariners. That one chopped foul by Malloy. Yeah, we'll see how everything plays out. One thing that I did notice in the Seahawks preseason game, and when you end up watching training camp and you read the articles and the vlogs and the blogs, you know, Byron Murphy II, it seems like he could end up being like the next big thing, you know, on the D line. And again, Aaron Donald has retired. There's a few guys in the league. I got one of them, Vita Vea from the Huskies. And it's always nice when you can get a good nose tackle, D tackle, or even a guy that's athletic that can move over to left end or right end for a couple plays to, you know, rush the passer, even if they're primarily a nose tackle or D tackle. But he's going to be a guy that's going to be double and triple teamed all year, and he's still going to make plays. And that's when you know you got a beast type of player. And it's been a long time since they've had a guy on the D-line that good in that particular position. So I'm definitely excited to watch him play and see what he can do. Big facts. Bottom of the third, 0-0 Mariners and Tigers. 2-2 count from Wu to Malloy. Yeah, Latu is going to be great as well. I mean, there's a couple of studs that, you know that they're going to be great as long as they don't get hurt. Oh, Malloy with a little base knock. I'm not sure if that's an error or not, but Rojas, another mistake. He had two players going for this baseball here by Malloy. Right off the end of Rojas's mitt there, but not a good look after making like 4 errors yesterday. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for him to get his confidence back. You know, obviously, I think, you know, being better in the box will make him a better defender. And I think by him struggling in the box as a hitter, it's affected him on the defensive side. Now he's a liability. But that one, I don't think was that much of his fault compared to the 4 yesterday. That one was just a little out of position and it hit the top of the mitt. It was just a good hit. But still, the same player that had the issues yesterday having issues again today. Not a good look for Hollywood Josh Rojas. Hopefully it'll be better as the game goes on, or he can make up for it with his bat. But I'm very concerned at third base moving forward. One pitch to McKinstry. That one fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm a little jealous of your guys' defensive players, me being a defensive guy. But at least I got, Jaden McMillan, wide receiver. I got, Bucky Irving, who's going to be RB2 and get a lot of looks. Big swing and a miss. I know the offense is going to be really exciting to watch. But again, I'm still going to be more of a defensive guy. It takes a lot more effort on the defensive side to be great on that side of the ball. A lot more discipline as well. So wish the best of luck for those players, and hopefully they don't get hurt. Next up for the Tigers, stash from the past, catcher Jake Rogers. Might have been a Cowboy in his past life. Popped up. Victor Robles is there. 2 away. No Cowboy shit here today for Jake. Next up, in right field at the top of the order, Matt Bierling. Another sneaky player you got to keep an eye on. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Yeah, he's going to have a breakout year this year, especially with the offensive line being a little bit better in past years. So, all right, we're at 21. We need 9 more likes to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. We just hit the number in the first hour. Good job. And we'll try to get 30 to 50. Little dribbler by Matt Bierling, like I said, sneaky good. Now runners at first and second for their assassin, who's just back from the DH, Kerry Carpenter. 2 homers yesterday. 0 for 1 so far with a K. And I think Kenneth Walker III and Breece Hall are always going to be connected by name. And we'll see, if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy for the whole year and how that team looks. But I imagine, both players will play well this season. And a lot of people will be looking at those guys in fantasy as well. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count to Kerry Carpenter. And they definitely have missed him and his bat in this particular lineup. You see how dangerous he is, being gone for weeks, months at a time, and then coming back in his first game and hitting 2 home runs. He's not going to do that every game, of course, but he definitely has the swagger and the aura and the vibe that the Tigers needed yesterday. Oh-2 pitch. Pitch is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Michigan State, they've had some decent players come out. You had Kenneth Walker III. Nice strikeout. There we go. There goes Carpenter. Obviously, we know Kirk Cousins is from Michigan State. And really the only big name that I can remember in the last maybe 15, 20 years that was a flop was the wide receiver Charles Rogers that only played a couple years there with the Lions. But other than that, they don't really have too many guys. And obviously, you're going to be little brother compared to Michigan. So sometimes it's going to be tough to be able to recruit when Michigan is plucking all of your talented players unless, you're one of those guys that's loyal to Michigan State, or your dad went there, or you have some kind of connection, or they gave you a full ride and whatnot. But hopefully they'll end up having a decent season here in 2024. Le'Veon is kind of like Antonio Brown, so it's like you have a good years, but then they kind of fell off the face of the earth. You know what I mean? Like they were really, really good for a couple years, and then they just disappeared in oblivion. And now they're doing like a podcast together with ESPN, talking about CTE and how it affected both of them and whatnot. So I saw a couple clips of their interview and whatnot. Very, very interesting to see how Le'Veon Bell speaks now. Same thing with Antonio Brown. Now, Cousins is a great guy. I mean, if you ended up watching the documentary Quarterback, I thought that seeing how he talks, not only to his teammates, but the trainers, his family, his wife, his son, like you can tell certain people it's bigger than just football, and the people that are more family oriented, and a football is huge, right? But you got to be able to, do things outside of football as well. And Kirk is always going to be a character guy. He's got high character. That's why everyone loves him. Even though he got drafted with RG3, one guy's playing in the league still and another guy isn't. One guy was a gimmick quarterback from Baylor and the other one wasn't. So, that resiliency to not give up, even though that they drafted a quarterback ahead of him at that time. But sometimes when you go to an organization that's dysfunctional, like Washington, you just got to be able to find your way out and go somewhere else to have success. And did pretty good for Minnesota, and we're going to see him ball out, hopefully, for Atlanta until Michael Penix Jr. is ready. Top of the fourth, 0-0, Mariners and Tigers. Like, what could have been with Le'Veon Bell? What could have been with Antonio Brown? What could have been with all of those wide receivers on Pittsburgh? It's like, they would always get NFL talent, but they would always get in trouble or go crazy. Like, it's like kind of a shame if Pittsburgh could have put it all together. What could have been with that particular organization with Big Ben? Maybe they would have been able to have another championship or two, if they could have, kept all of those, egos in check. But, CTE, I think that's really what happened with Antonio Brown. Obviously, you're not thinking clearly and then just walking out on the Bucs. If he would have never left, who's to say? We might have been able to repeat. But once he walked off against the Jets, the chances of us being able to get things done at that point, especially with the Godwin injury on top of that too, it was just too much for us to overcome in that second year. Popped up, Julio back to the warning track. One away. Go, Julio. Next time around, baby. Nice job by Parker Meadows there in center. Next up, first baseman, Luke Raley. Same thing with like Todd Gurley, like what could have been. Like Gurley and Le'Veon were like the two best running backs for a couple years, and then all of a sudden it was done. It shows you the life of a running back does not last that long, even if it seems like it's going to. These guys are not built like Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith. Popped up. Colt Keith is there. 2 away. Now, I don't think anyone has ever said anything bad about Kirk Cousins. And the funny thing is like you can throw chains on him and he'll play along. He's the ultimate teammate. But I don't think there's really been anyone that has ever said anything bad about Kirk. He like if you looked up NFL player in the encyclopedia or dictionary, like the guy that does it right on and off the field, it probably would show a picture of Kirk Cousins. He definitely would be one of those guys. He's very likable. And especially once you watch that documentary Quarterback, then you even like him even more. You root for a guy like that. Big facts. Next up, right fielder, Mitch Haniga. Let's go, Mitch. Takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 count. Let's go, Mitch. We're at 28. 62 to go. All right, we're at 21. We need 4 more to get to 25, 9 more to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, we have 12 people that haven't so far. We need 8 more out of the 12, and we'll be at 30. Let's go. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Haniga. And we're still knotted up here at 0. I don't know if I anticipated it being this low scoring, but I'm glad that the Tigers are not going crazy on us like they did with Scoop. And obviously, they get more motivated when they have their best pitcher. Not saying that they can't hit when Scoo's not pitching, but they're going to get more out of the team when Scoo's on the mound, that extra ounce of confidence with him on the mound. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Tigers. Next up for Detroit, 0 for 1, second baseman, Colt Keith. I like Colt. Not as good as Parker Meadows as a lefty, but definitely a nice piece as a young piece for this Detroit team. Batting second, 0 for 1, had himself a day yesterday. Third baseman, Gio Urshela, very underrated. And batting third, 0 for 1, first baseman, Bly Madris. Cool name. B-L-I-G-H. You're not going to see another one of those in the big leagues. Very cool. I wonder what the backstory is on his name. Kevin and Brandy and MSU, do you guys have a backstory on Bly Madris and why he was named Bly? Any backstory with that? Obviously, some people will know that, and some people will have to look that up on Google. Shep in the building. What's good? We were just talking about you. I was about to send you the post of Judon to ATL. Your Falcons are getting better on defense. So even though the Braves might not be World Series, maybe contenders this year, they could still end up getting there, possibly. But, Acuna, Strider down, the chances of them making it not as good as previous years, but you never know, right? The Brewers, the Padres, and obviously the top two dogs, Phillies and Dodgers. But we have seen the top dogs in the last few years haven't made it, right? So you never know. But the Falcons, man, the only problem with them is defense. And now you end up getting a player from the Patriots that might end up being your best defensive player, and you just got him 10 minutes ago. So congratulations on that. I hope that they haven't been overworking you. I hope that, that you're not depressed. I hope that you're not sad. I hope that, you got enough going on in your life that even though work is tough, that it's not wearing you down completely. And again, you always have me as a resource if you need to bitch, moan, complain, vent. I'm always here. We can always talk, sports and life. And hopefully things are going a little bit better for you. A little chopper to first base. One away. Megan with a tour. Appreciate that. Uneven numbers. Bye-bye. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $2 holla. Appreciate you. Yeah, they say that he's not winning big games, but it's not all his fault. If you look at the teams that he was on, his Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night record really wasn't that good. I get it. But a lot of times, if you look at the numbers that he had in those games, some games were good and some games were average. Some were bad. But again, when you don't really have an offensive line or a defense, is it really all Kirk's fault that they can't win on prime time if the coaching is shitty, the play calling is shitty, the O-line is shitty, the defense is shitty? You got to look at it from that point of view. So I think, if you look a little bit deeper, yeah, were there games that the Vikings should have won on prime time? Fuck yeah. But it wasn't all his fault. Some of the games were his fault, but not all of them. That's facts. Reflect with the 20. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Well, I already knew it was going to happen, not to the Falcons, but I saw in practice, Judon was already beefing, with the new coach and walked off. So I was like, normally when that happens, then the player ends up getting traded within 2 weeks after that happens. And it seemed like it happened a couple times. So I didn't know Atlanta was going to get him. And if you think about it, out of all the teams in the NFL that need defense, Falcons are at the top of the list that need defense. I mean, they already got offense. They got their quarterback now, quarterback of the future. They got Bajan. They got Drake London. They got Kyle Pitts. They got a good offensive line. Back. Haniger to the wall. Got it. Urshela, not today. But to get a guy like Judon who could be a Pro Bowl, all-pro type of player, a guy that can get you, 10 to 15 sacks, who can knock balls down, can give you leadership, and give you that swag and that aura and vibe that the ATL and the Falcons and the Dirty Birds have been missing for quite a few years. Pretty cool, man. Me being a Buck fan, I'm a little jealous. No lie. Reflect with the 20. The original GOAT. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang, bang. Appreciate you. $20 holla. Let's go. We're at 50. 50 to go. I figured. And I'll put a message out for fantasy when we do it. It'll be me, Reflect, and we'll have 8 spots open. I'll probably end up making a video, but we'll talk about it here on the channel. And then we'll wait until the 3rd preseason game is over, because you don't do a draft before then because of injuries. There's some people that have already done their draft. I'm never going to do my draft until the last preseason game is over. Then we're going to have about a week before the first game, and then we'll end up doing the draft probably like on a Monday or Tuesday, whenever it works out, and we'll see where it goes from there. Popped up to right field by Bly Madris. 3 up and 3 down, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I might have to look that up and do some deep diving myself. Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at, camp, and I've been obviously reading the articles and, going through. And then really the main thing about Penix that I've noticed is the same kind of criticism that he had in college, where sometimes he can make the big throw, but sometimes those normal intermediate throws are being thrown and overthrown. But you could say that out of any rookie quarterback just getting acclimated to the NFL, but again, some of the deep balls, with precision, like if you saw it in college against Oregon, we'd have guys like on triple coverage on Rome or Jaden McMillan, and he could still throw it right into the breadbasket right there, and then the receiver just needs to put the hands up to catch it. But then there's also going to be plays that we saw with like Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, and a few of the other guys where it was just a routine 5 and out or a 10 and out or a slant, and then it's way overthrown 10 feet over their head or into the turf, and you're like, come on, how can you make a throw 50 yards downfield and fucking triple coverage, and then you make the play and look like, like you're Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, right? And then all of a sudden you go to the next play and it's like a 1st down and 10 regular play and you miss it by a mile. But again, these are the things that they're going to be working on, going through practices and whatnot, and they're going to get better and better at it. But overall, I think the vibe and the hype based on, Atlanta and Penix has been very good. I don't think there hasn't really been anything negative. They just know that there's going to be growing pains. And when he's ready, don't be surprised, like a kind of a Jordan Love type of situation, sitting behind Aaron for a couple years. And we were wondering, is Jordan Love a bust? Is he actually good? And then we finally got a chance to see him sprinkled in after a couple years. And the answer is yes. I mean, he looks like he could be a top 10, top 12 quarterback. And who knows, maybe one day Jordan Love could be a top 7, top 5 quarterback. I don't know if he's there yet. We're going to have to see how the Packers play, this particular year. New running back, obviously, back there with Josh Jacobs instead of Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. So it'll be very exciting to see how things kind of play out. But Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a stud. And again, Vikings definitely should have picked him. And now you have no J.J. McCarthy for the whole year, no Michael Penix Jr., who's just sitting behind Kirk Cousins, and you could have had Michael right away, and it would have been a much better pairing with Jetta, Addison, and Hawkinson. And I think the fans would have bought in with it. But again, if you're going to go for a player that's close to you in the college, in the Midwest, that's what happens. You get what you get. If you're going to hate on the Pac-12 and you're going to hate on the talent that comes out of there, and you're not familiar, and you just want to think that we're, like a, little brother forever, all right, we'll wait and see. And when these players come out, and a lot of the Pac-12 guys have talent, even though we don't exist anymore and we're part of the Big Ten. 2-2 pitch from Salmons to Rojas, driving that one foul. Yeah, I agree. Here, give me the info. Here we go. Kevin and Brandy is like, let me give you the info. I looked it up on Google. Oh, interesting. Wow, look at their names. How cool. I had a feeling that the family had cool names, because normally if you got a name like Bly Madris, I mean, usually there's going to be someone else in the family that's got a badass name too. And look at it, everyone's name is badass in the family. How cool is that? Thank you so much for that. I'm going to do some deep diving about Bly Madris after the game is over. Top of the 5th, 0-0 Mariners and Tigers, 1 away. Next up is Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. Somebody's got to get on the board here for the Mariners. And if we win today, we're going to have a good chance for tomorrow. Yeah, and the person that's going to benefit the most is Kyle Pitts. Pretty much not even utilized in his first couple years. Oh, diving catch. Did he get it? Or did he drop it? He dropped it. Go, go, go. Stand-up double for Demo. There we go. But Pitts was underutilized, and, he could have been a top 5 tight end in this league right out of the gates. But if you don't have the right quarterback, to be able to implement, that particular check down and that player, now this is the first time that Kyle Pitts, should be a top 10 fantasy option, but he could be like the sleeper. He could be like the Sam Laporta of last year. You're going to have Kittle, you're going to have Kelsey, you're going to have Andrews, you're going to have Laporta, but who's going to be that 5th guy? It might be Kyle Pitts this year, depending on Kirk and Penix can have a good relationship with him. Hopefully that'll happen. Because I know Atlanta fans have been salivating because when he was at Florida, he was good. He was one of the best tight ends that they've had in quite some time. And, to not get the ball and to be unmotivated and unused, it definitely messed with his mentals. And it also messed with the fan base too, thinking like, we got this amazing player. Why aren't we throwing to him? And hopefully we'll get to see the most out of Kyle Pitts before his career is up. 0-1 pitch from Salmons to Victor Robles. Come on, Victor. You're 0 for 2 with a K. You did go down for a bunt, which I like, at your last at-bat, but you don't need to do that here. No bunting at this at-bat. We need you to get a single, baby. Let's go, Victor. 0-2 pitch from Salmons to Robles. Pitch is high. Tried to jam him. Goes behind the plate, foul. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. Oh, yeah. Running backs are always key every year, Shep. You know that. Last year was the first year that I didn't do running backs, and, having, David Montgomery and a bunch of other guys that I was just trying to sprinkle in to get 10 points and 10 points. And I was trying to, beef up on the wide receivers and, and having my guys there, Keenan Allen and Amon-Ra and Mike Evans and Jay Jetta, and obviously injuries derailed me there at the end. But it shows you, even if you don't have the top tier running backs, you can still make it to the championship, but again, it definitely helps if you have good ones, but also too, they're the most prone to get injured out of any player besides a wide receiver. So, and if you don't have a top tight end, you're fucked. You're not going to win the league. So it's like, you got Travis Kelce, you might win the league. If you don't have Travis Kelce, you might not win the league. That's one of the big factors too. Because usually there's a big drop-off after Kelce. But maybe this year with Kittle, Andrews, even though he got in that car accident today, sounds like he's okay. Sam Laporta, and we'll see about the others. Hopefully there won't be as much of a gap, and if the gap gets closed, then someone that has an Andrews, if he doesn't fucking get hurt, Laporta, or a Kittle, if he gets utilized a little bit more, you might be able to keep it a little bit closer. Top of the 5th, 0-0, runner at second with 2 outs. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Let's go, Polo. Bring that electricity, baby. Top of the 5th, runner at second with 2 outs. 0-1 pitch from Salmons to Polo. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 hits total for the Mariners, 2 for the Tigers. No errors. Been very low scoring. It's been a pitching duel. But let me take a quick look. So Brisky had 2 Ks. Salmons only has 1. Wu has 3. So we're not getting a lot of Ks though. There we go. In the gap. Go, go, go. That's going to score 1. Demo going home. 1-0 Mariners. Nice job, Polo. Fuck yeah. Yeah, baby. Well, there you go. Polo in the 2-hole was a good decision by Scott Service. You left George Kirby in the game too long. Bad move. Putting Polo in the 2-hole. Good move. There we go. Nice job. Next up, in left field, Randy Arosarena. Let's go, baby. 1-0 Mariners, baby. Let's go. All right, we're at 24. We need 6 more likes to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. We got 10 people in the room that haven't done it. And I know there's going to be people from different countries watching. Some may speak English, some may not. But again, if you can understand me, help your boy out. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. It takes 1 second to smash the like button, and that'll help us with the algorithm and the metrics. Let's go. Oh, yeah. I haven't won it in a couple years. And again, if I would have trusted my gut, last year, and I just left my starting lineup alone, I would have won. But, again, my brain got the best of me. It was substituting guys, and I thought, fuck it, Baker and Mike Evans. Baker is hurt. He should still be able to throw for a touchdown pass. And then they ended up beating the Panthers 9-0, and I lost. So, again, I wanted to win the championship with my guys, and that was my problem. I should have went with Zamir White. I should have went with, the Jets D instead of going back and forth with the Patriots, and I should have went with the Vikings backup quarterback instead of Baker, knowing that it was the Lions defense and the Lions defense stinks, so sometimes, you overcalculate, and sometimes that, you should go with this particular lineup, but when it's for the championship, even when there's injuries, sometimes, your brain gets the best of you. And sometimes you just want to be able to win it all with the guys that are, your guys, right? And that was the mistake that I made, and I'll never make that mistake ever again. If I'm in the championship, and even if I have guys that I like Baker or Mike Evans, and if something is off, like an injury, then I just have to take my pride aside and say, fuck it, I'm going to end up playing backups if I need to. And as long as they put up enough points, I'm going to win. And that was a big lesson that I learned. Also, I tried to win the championship for the very first time on not really drafting running backs heavy. And I almost won it, But again, I also had 4 elite wide receivers. I had Jay Jetta, I had Amon-Ra, I had Mike Evans, and I had Keenan Allen. But Jetta was hurt for a good chunk. Keenan Allen was unusable at the end because, obviously Herbert got hurt. So really, I could only use Mike Evans and Amon-Ra, and then when Baker got hurt, Mike Evans was, not really a valuable piece. It wasn't an asset. It was a liability. So to have 4 really elite wide receivers go down to 1, when you get to the championship, that's what killed me as well. So, but you got to give credit where credit's due. Reflect did a good job. And again, really the X factor was Kyren Williams. Sarah dropped him. I would have picked him up. And if you had Kyren Williams, that was the player that, if you needed a running back or you already had good running backs, that was kind of the icing on the cake. And obviously we know Kyren is very, very good, got a lot of looks. And I think that really was the deciding factor in the championship. But again, decisions were made. I fucked up. Reflect did not. And we had a good champion last year, even though it did go down to the wire. So definitely excited for fantasy payback. And again, I haven't finished lower than 3rd in any league I've ever done, but I have missed the championship in the last few years. So hopefully I can find a way to be champ this year. But nothing I said was, not true. I mean, everything was true. And plus, when it came down to the championship with me and Reflect, we were playing a bunch of backups because a lot of the people that we had either a bye or, they were, taking those players off. So it's not like we had our strongest lineups in the championship game and we did best of 2 weeks. And when it got to like the last 2 weeks, it got a little scary. Not being able to play your best guys and you're having to play like backups and, I had to play maybe like a Vikings backup quarterback and not the Pastronaut, you're going with like Mullins. Do you really want to try to win the championship with Nick Mullins? And that was my kind of decision. It's either Nick Mullins or Baker Mayfield hurt. And I went with Baker and I fucked up, but again, sometimes that's the type of shit that happens, right? You have to trust, even if it's a Nick Mullins, So it is what it is. But I definitely learned a valuable lesson, and you can always learn, no matter how good you are at fantasy, you can always learn something new every year. Either something I can learn from, Reflect and the way that he picks his players and the way that he goes about his fantasy team, the way that I go about mine, and also the strategies that other people use against me. I'm always paying attention. So. But again, it will be very, very exciting here in 2024, especially with some of the rookies coming in too. Oh, all the smoke. I don't like losing. And plus, I put in the most effort out of any player in the league. I'm researching my team. I'm researching every other team. I'm looking at all your guys' bench. I'm spending more time in the middle of the night. I'm on the app 3-4 hours a day. No one else, put in that type of effort. And no one else, made as many moves as me, and I make the most moves every year. So if I don't end up winning, it's a failure. I'm like trying to go for the Super Bowl. I'm like the Chiefs. It's like if I don't win the Super Bowl, it's a failure. And if I don't win the fucking fantasy championship, second place, third place is nothing. That's fool's gold. I'm trying to go for the chip. I'm trying to go for the natty. Bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Mariners. One out, 0-1 count. So you already know who it is. Justin Henry Malloy. Nice hit up the middle by Malloy, singled up to center. Next up is Zach McKinstry. We got a mixed blend. We got some that are married, some that have boyfriends, girlfriends, some that are single. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. We need to get to 30, baby. We're still not there yet. Let's go, baby. 6 more to get to 30. Let's get there. We're in the bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Mariners. Runner at first with 1 away. Next up is Zach McKinstry. Double play. Oh, safe at first. Good effort there by the Mariner defense, by Dylan Moore, but just couldn't get the throw to first in time there after the exchange. 2 away. Next up, stash from the past. Catcher, Jake Rogers. Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder this year, though, because, again, before you guys just had to worry about me being a psychopath in fantasy and putting in so much work. Now you got another person that is on the same kind of talent level and reflects. So now you got 2 people to worry about, not just one. And then there's going to be others that are going to come in to try to prove themselves. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in this particular 2024 fantasy draft. And again, I'm going to look at the rules and we'll see how we end up playing it out. If we do best of 2 weeks, or if we shorten the season and we just do, best of 1 week and then the championship best of 1 week. I'll have to look at the rules. I usually don't really modify too much of anything in the league except for no trades. Other than that, we'll see where it goes. But we'll definitely have some good competitors this year. Little slow roller, throw to first. And that'll do it. Nice job, Brian Wu. All right, let's see who's up here next for the Mariners in the top of the 6th. And let me know what you guys want to do for photos. I got you. And if you're just tuning in the top of the 5th, Polo single to left. Demo scored to give us the 1-0 lead. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Mariners. And no runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Tigers. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Right ends up, baby. Batting second this inning in the 5-hole, 1 for 2, DHing for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. And batting third, 1 for 2, first baseman today for Justin Turner, Luke Raley. And I know, Reflect, you normally don't really care about photos, but if there's anything that you want to see throughout the broadcast, just type it in. Let me know. And then for the last dono before that, Megan, anything that you want to see, just regulars, Seahawks, you let me know and I got you. Go Cal. Paisley Pup has entered the studio. She misses you guys. She misses Dad. And her birthday is on Friday. Mariners versus the Pirates. Skeens. Can't wait. Hopefully we don't get blown out. As long as it's not like that scooball game yesterday, that'll be a good birthday for Paisley. And then all the donos that we get on Friday will go for things for Paisley, either in the near future, once we get those donos to go through YouTube and Google in the following month. And then if we get anything on the Venmo and Cash App side, then obviously I can end up going to Petco. I'm going to go to Petco in the morning, Friday morning, and I'll get her a little pup cup of ice cream, through Ben & Jerry's for the pups, specifically made for dogs. And I'll probably end up getting her a new toy, new bone, new rope, new something. So she'll be a happy girl. Appreciate you. We're at 40, 60 to go. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $10 holla. Appreciate you. Would you have played Reflect Nick Mullins in the championship against me? Like if I had Jalen Hurts like you did, right? And then you had Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and obviously Amon-Ra were only two wide receivers because the other two were unusable. Would you have played Nick Mullins in the championship game against me, or would you have played Baker, even though Baker had a slight injury? And they were playing the Panthers too, right? Panthers are not a good team. And it ended up being a 9-0 score. I did not expect that. So, I guess I have myself to blame, but. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the show, Captain Oriel. But it was a bad decision by them. They shouldn't have picked that quarterback. I don't wish injuries on anybody. Cal Raleigh to first. But again, you pick the wrong player. Sometimes, karma happens and bad things happen. And, it all started with the, Oregon Duck player, getting in that accident from that DUI. He ended up tragically losing his life. And now every single player, it seems like for the Vikings, is getting hurt. Addison got carted off today. Jetta, I'm not sure if he's going to be 100% healthy this year. And it seems like it's all trickling down to each of their players. And now they got Sam Darnold. Good luck. Now the Bears are going to officially finish in third place, and the Vikings will be in last. But they only have themselves to blame. They could have drafted Michael Penix Jr. and avoided the situation. But again, if they think that J.J. McCarthy, even though he did have a good preseason game, I'm not sold on him. Just because you had one good preseason game against a shitty Raider defense and you threw a couple dimes for touchdowns doesn't mean you're going to do that in the regular season. And I wish the best of luck for J.J. and the Vikings fans, but you fucked up. You picked the wrong player, and now you're going to pay for it. And not only this year, you're going to pay for it next year, and then they're going to probably have to look at a quarterback in next year's draft. But if you would have went Michael, then you wouldn't have to worry about that. Now, is there a chance that Michael ends up getting hurt at some point of his career? Yeah, it could happen. Could happen to Caleb. Could happen to Bo as well. Happened to Drake May, but it is what it is. Okay, I got you. Yeah, and I had a bunch of the quarterbacks too, because I was thinking about just grabbing like 5 of them and is blocking you just in case that your quarterback couldn't go. We have to play offense and defense in fantasy and whatnot. And I think I actually had Carr at one point. I grabbed a bunch of them and then I ended up dropping them. And then we're looking at some of them, and it's kind of that back and forth cat and mouse game that you have to play, especially when you're going against someone that is intelligent, that actually knows not just your team, but the league as a whole. And you're very thorough like I am. So, there's not a whole lot that's going to get past you or me, especially strategy-wise. So, but knowing that it was the Lions defense and even it was Nick Mullins, I should have just did it. But, I'm happy that you won, man. Again, it gives me something to be hungry about instead of me just winning it every year, which I wouldn't be able to probably win it every year anyways, because we know sometimes fantasy is a little luck. You got to be good. And obviously the people that have talent draft well. And then it's kind of a crapshoot in luck as the season goes on with injuries. And then you have to be able to replenish. But, if you end up having a shitty draft and then you lose a couple of your top guys, you're done. You're not going to be able to recover against the upper echelon fantasy guys in the league or girls. So, it's like you not only have to have a top 5 draft, you have to be a little lucky with the injuries too. And you got to be smart on the wire and pick up, good players there too. I know. I think both of us did that. We both picked up a couple to try to block each other. We tried to Mutombo each other a little bit. All right, brother. Good to see you. Make sure you message me and let me know that things are okay with you. And then hopefully you'll come through a little bit more often when you have some time off work. Take care of yourself, dude. Mental health, very important. Good to see you, bro. Top of the 6th, 1-0 Mariners, runner at first, 1 out, 0-2 pitch for Luke Raley. Into the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's always good when we can end up seeing some of the GOATs on the channel that are just really working a lot or busy, and then they come through to be able to hang out. It's always nice. Salmons. 1-2 pitch to Raley. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're at 40, 60 to go. And I think that's kind of the misconception, about fantasy football. Like, if you don't know the league as a whole, you're at a huge disadvantage. And I'm not saying that you got to read, every article and every vlog and every blog and watch every video of every team. But again, the more that you read and the more familiar you are, the better you're going to be. All the way back to the wall. Parker Meadows there in center field, 2 away. Cal hustles back to first base. Raley, that could have been special. Just got caught up there in the wind there in Detroit at Comerica Park. Next up, right fielder, Mitch Haniger. Let's go, Mitch. Cal? Oh, he's out at second. Are they going to do a replay? That's the first time he's got called, thrown out at second all year. He's what? 5 safe, 1 out. Let's look. That looks safe. Was he really out? That angle, he looked safe. No replay whatsoever? Damn. Like that? They just left us hanging like that? Just like that Victor Robles play at first. I don't know about that one. I want to see the other camera angle, but there was no challenge there, unfortunately. There'll be quite a few of us looking at Kenneth Walker in the draft. I mean, especially the addition of Connor Williams, that's a big part of it too. The better offensive line that you have and the more touches you have and, the more carries that you're going to get compared to the RB2 or RB3 on the team. If you're the workhorse and you're the bell cow, there's going to be some good opportunities to score some good points this upcoming season. And you got, obviously Tyler get to the door and lock it, DK Metcalf, JSN. Obviously need a better tight end in the near future, but the offensive line and the defense needed improvement. You got a little bit of improvement on that O-line. We'll see if they can stay healthy. And then there's still going to be a work in progress on that defensive side of the ball until they turn into the baby Ravens. Fun player to watch, man. It's like Breece Hall. Breece Hall is kind of like MJD, but a little bit bigger, taller, but he bounces off guys, kind of like a bowling ball. Kenneth Walker runs, with speed and precision, but he has enough power where he can bounce off tackles. So a little bit different, a type of running back than Breece Hall. Breece Hall more of like a bowling ball, like MJD, but better. And obviously, as they look at the replay there, it still looks safe to me. But I'm definitely excited to be able to see the progression of Kenneth in this upcoming season, especially with the new coaching regime with McDonald. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Mariners. So far, so good. Next up for the Tigers, Matt Vierling. Brian Wu been magnificent here today, which we knew he would be. He got on the thumb for a reason. Little slow roller. Barehanded, throw to first. Got him. There we go. That's the Josh Rojas that I've been looking for. After those 4 bobbles yesterday, and then it went off the tip of the mitt, obviously early in the game. Look at this hustle. The bare hand, throw to first. Luke Raley, see you later. What an out by Rojas. Nice job. Okay, that's the Rojas that I like to see. Good job, Josh. Nice job, Hollywood, with the bare hand. I like it. Next up for the Tigers, Kerry Carpenter. 2 homers yesterday, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks today. A little bit different vibe with Skubal not on the mound. We've had 2 questionable plays at first and second, with now Robles being called out at first in a bang-bang play. Ty is supposed to go to the runner, but apparently not. And then Cal looks safe on that slide. I don't know why they didn't review it. We could always get, a little bit extra, in moving these guys over and get some more run support. 1-0 isn't going to win this game, more than likely, so. Oh, 0-2 pitch from Wu to Carpenter, foul back. No balls and 2 strikes on Kerry Carpenter. Was out for a few months. Came back and obviously came out with a vengeance. Brian Wu, see you later. Lumbar spine fracture in May. That's what Kerry Carpenter had. Didn't play since then and couldn't get anything here today. Brian Wu, let's go, baby. What you know about Brian Wu? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At this point, Wu might be our second best pitcher. Sometimes he might actually be our best pitcher. If we're looking at the record, he's got the best record. Better record than Logan, better record than Kirby. He doesn't have as many starts, obviously, but based on how he's pitched this year, kind of seems like he would probably still have the best record, even if he had the same amount of games as Gilbert or Kirby. End of the 6th inning, 1-0 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the 7th. We need some additional run support. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, Mitch Haniger. Batting second, 0 for 2. third baseman with that great barehanded play to first, Hollywood Josh Rojas. He'll get a hit here, hopefully at this at-bat. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, shortstop, Demo Dylan Moore. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Let's go, baby. See how many more likes we're away from 30. Got to get there. We're still at 24. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. We only need 5 more likes to hit 30, to hit the goal. 5 more. Let's go, baby. Let's look at the stats of some of the pitchers here today. All right, Brian, let's take a look. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, which is super impressive. 4 Ks, 70 pitches total, and we're going to be in the 7th inning. 70 pitches, 51 strikes, 19 balls, 2.09 ERA. He's the best pitcher on the Mariners, baby. I mean, we've had George Kirby, who can play like an all-star. We have Logan Gilbert, who can play like an all-star, right? And obviously Castillo and, Bryce Miller are pitcher number 4 and 5. But there's a strong argument right now that, Brian Wu might be our best guy overall. I mean, Logan Gilbert and George Kirby have a few more games under their belt, but based off their record and ERA, I mean, Brian Wu is trending to be the number 1 pitcher by the time the season is over for the Mariners, which is huge, considering he was the number 5 pitcher, going into last year. And to go from 5 to 1 or 5 to 2 or 5 to 3, pretty fucking impressive. Amazing pitching staff, especially when Luis Castillo was slated as the 1, but in reality, he's more like the 4. Big improvement by a lot of this pitching staff. Yeah, well, you kind of knew that was coming, though, Kevin and Brandy, right? You guys had 15, and the Mariners do the same thing. When the Mariners, have an amazing game and they get 10 to 12 runs, typically the next game after that, what a catch. What a catch by Gio Urshela in foul territory, 2 away. But usually the same thing happens to us, too. 10 to 12 runs, 8 runs, and then we go into the next matchup, regardless who's pitching for us, and then we put up a dud. We put up none, 0, or maybe 1 or 2, but it's much less than what we put up in the previous game. It's very rare where we put up 8, and then in the next game we put up 10. I mean, it does happen from time to time, but, most of the time when we have an explosion, then, the hitting just fucking disappears. So, but at least you guys beat our ass yesterday, right? And the game isn't over yet. You still got a chance to win this game, even though it feels like the Mariners have the momentum. And then tomorrow you guys play at 10 a.m., and I will be doing the stream, and we are terrible in the mornings, whether it's at T-Mobile or if we're in, any other ballpark. We play in the mornings. We're not woken up yet. And a lot of times we, get absolutely obliterated. But we do have Bryce Miller tomorrow, and his last start against the Mets, he was phenomenal. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But if we win today, I believe we're going to win tomorrow. If we lose today, we could play desperate with our backs on the wall and maybe win tomorrow. But realistically, if you guys come back and win this game, we probably will get swept. So we have to find a way to win this to give us a chance to win tomorrow. But you never know. Baseball's a crazy sport, as you know, and anything can happen on any given day. Top of the 7th, 1-0 Mariners with 2 outs, 2-2 count from Salmons to Dylan Moore. Salmons has actually done a great job since he ended up coming into the matchup early in the 2nd inning or so. 2nd, 3rd inning. 2-2 pitch. Demo, see you later. Brian Salmons. I got to put up a photo of him. I haven't done it just yet. So let's get a couple up of Brian. We're not haters here. We want to make sure we're acknowledging a good performance when we see one. He's done phenomenal. I mean, he's only given up a run, and, considering how things went yesterday. Let's take a look at your numbers. All right, so with Brisky, he only did 1.1 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks. They pulled him. I don't know if there was an injury or they just didn't trust him, but then they brought in Salmons, and he's pitched awesome. 5.2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 Ks. And Wu has 4 Ks. But he's been a little bit cleaner with no walks and no earned runs, and he's only given up 3 hits. But that's a pretty impressive, for coming into the game, probably thinking that you weren't even going to play, and then you got in early, and he did a good job. So shout out to Brian Salmons for holding it down. He's doing everything in his part to try to get the Tigers to win here today. I'm impressed. I guarantee no Tiger fan or Mariner fan thought that Salmons was going to be this good. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th. And they got Wu still out there, which they should. Next up in the box is Gio Urshela, and it shows you when you have an elite pitcher like George Kirby, who could end up being a top 10 pitcher in baseball, but you end up having him paired up with the backup catcher who isn't good, Mitch Garver, everything goes to hell. And if, you could have George Kirby to have Cal, he would definitely have a few more wins in the win column, and he'd play better. But I think his mentals, are a little fucked, having to be paired up with Garver every fucking start. It's not fair. You should have Castillo and Miller with Garver, not George Kirby or Logan Gilbert or Brian Wu. Popped up into right field. Mitch Haniger, 1 away. All right, no worries, Megan. Yeah, we need this win. Absolutely. And I hope that's the case as well. But I'm hoping that we get a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if the Tigers get on the board, and I wouldn't mind if the Mariners get a couple more. So if we can end up winning 3-2, or 2-1, but I want a little bit more out of the game. I mean, if it ends up being 1-0, so be it. But I guess it just really depends on the pitching, and if the hitters can do anything right now. But Wu showing that, he is one of the best pitchers on the Mariners staff, if not the best pitcher. Logan Gilbert does everything really good. Kirby is more of a location guy, kind of like a Greg Maddux, not giving you a lot of the heat. And, when you look at Brian Wu, he's more like Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller, where they throw heaters, but he's just a little bit more accurate. Throw to first. Got him. Oh, he's safe. I thought he got him. Nice hustle there by Bly Madris. Rojas tried, though, off the bounce. Well, that's close. 3 close plays today, but he is safe on that one. That one is more clear. Victor Robles at first, safe, or Ty goes to the runner, but called out. And then Cal Raleigh stealing second, safe, but called out. But then that was a nice hustle play by the Tigers and Bly Madris, and that was easily safe based off the replay. The other 2 were more bang, bang, supposed to go Ty to go to the runner, but apparently that doesn't exist. Next up, one of my favorite Tigers, center fielder, Parker Meadows. Pitch right down the middle, behind in the count 0-2. But it shows you how much of a difference Cal Raleigh makes, for the pitchers that he works with. The game is called perfectly. Cal is one of the smartest, if not the smartest catcher in baseball. You got a lot of talent in Adley Rushman, who's young, Salvador Perez, who's been doing it for years on the Royals as well. But Cal's going to lead the league in home runs for 3 years in a row, and that's pretty crazy to think, as a rookie to do it, a second-year player to do it, third year. And again, and it's not only he can hit RBIs and home runs, down goes Parker Meadows, 2 away, but also he's one of the best defensive catchers in baseball, if not the best. You got the best hitter, right? The guy that can hit the most home runs, get the most RBIs, the best defensive catcher. And not only that, he's got obviously the best clutchness out of any player on the team in the 7th inning and beyond. A guy that's a switch hitter that can hit home runs from the left and the right, but for whatever reason, he's not good enough to make the all-star team as a reserve or a backup. Bullshit, But again, if they're going to base all-star games based off batting average only, then he might not ever make it. But if you look at every other thing that he does great, he definitely is deserving of an all-star berth. And hopefully he'll have many before his career is over. He's one of those untradeable guys, even more valuable than Julio Rodriguez. And I know Julio is always going to be more popular, and Julio can run the bags and he can rob home runs. And, when he's good, he can go 30 home runs, 30 stolen bags. But with the addition of Victor Robles, we didn't really miss him too much. And it shows you, if you can get guys like Randy Arozarena and Victor Robles, and you can get guys like that, Julio is a valuable piece, but he's not as valuable as Cal Raleigh as far as his leadership, catching for our elite pitchers and our pitching staff, the mental toughness that he brings, and everything else that he brings to the ball club. Facts. And it's not even close. Most valuable player on the Mariners, Cal Raleigh, by a landslide. And that's going to be that way probably for, many, many years. As great as Julio is, as great as George Kirby is, Logan Gilbert, pitchers come and pitchers go. But catcher is the most underrated position in baseball, and it's very rare when you have a good one. It's like having a good offensive lineman. It's rare. You don't really have good ones that often, but when you do in football, you notice. And typically when you have good offensive linemen, the offense is going to be very, very good. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Seattle. Runner at first with 2 outs. 3-2 count to Jackson. Ooh, baby. Justin Henry Malloy. Runner goes. That was outside. Bad call. Should have been a walk, and he got punched out. Terrible call by that up. Justin Henry Malloy should have went to first on that walk, but Brian Wu gets the call. End of the 7th inning, 1-0 Mariners. Wow. Wu is dealing. Awesome to be able to see a guy that, again, was ranked 5th out of 5, and now he might be our number 1 pitcher on our staff. Unbelievable. Nice job, Brian Wu. The only problem with Brian Wu is injuries. He's a little bit injury prone, but other than that, you can't really say anything bad about him. He's been fantastic. And nice to see him climb that, ladder board and pass Luis Castillo, pass Bryce Miller, and is really testing George Kirby and Logan Gilbert for the top spot. Let's go. And I'm really excited about Durangelo, Captain Oreo. I'm telling you, when we get that switch pitcher coming up that can pitch from the left side and the right side, and I don't know about the rule changes, if you can only pitch from one side per inning, but imagine him pitching the left side in the first inning, right side from the second inning, left side from the third inning, right side from the fourth inning, left side from the fifth inning, right side from, and we're just alternating back and forth, because I don't think they would allow you to pitch a left-handed pitch and then the next pitch would be a right-handed pitch. That probably would be, against the rules, or it'd be too hard for them, to be able to game plan and strategize on. But that's one of the big X factors. If you got a guy that can actually do something like that, it's like Shohei Ohtani being able to pitch on a top 10 level and being one of the top 2 hitters in the game, not named Aaron Judge. It's changing the game. And when Durangelo gets his chance, I hope he ends up being in the top 5 in the rotation. He'll probably start off 5th, and that means someone is out, whether it's a trade or we don't sign someone. But I'm definitely excited about that, as well as Lazaro Montes, Harry Ford, Colt Emerson, Cole Young. Seems like these guys are coming along as positional players in our farm system as well. Mariners have a bright, bright future. Probably would be a little unfair if he pitched, every pitch from a different side. But, per inning, switching sides from the left to the right, that could be a huge game changer. And I would assume that he wouldn't do that. They probably would want him to pitch from the same side, throughout the game. But if you got a guy that can do both, instead of saying, oh, he's going to pitch from the left side today, or, hey, he's going to pitch from the right side today. And I think about that. When you got a pitcher that can pitch from both sides, you usually, as a manager, you look at the pitcher and then you decide left-handed batters or right-handed batters. But if it's him, How do you make a lineup against a pitcher like that? You don't know if he's going to come out as a lefty or a righty. So I like that. And that's going to be a big, big move for the Mariners in the future. That could be like one of those missing links and that piece that could get us over the top. And I hope he ends up having a successful career. Never heard of a player that could be that good from the left and right side. But Durangelo is going to have a chance with the Mariners. And he's with one of the best pitching staffs that's on planet Earth. You couldn't ask for a better fit for Durangelo in the draft this year. Top of the 8th, 1-0 Mariners. Do we go for a bunt? Victor Robles already attempted it. We do need to bunt a little bit more often. What do we got in the bag, Victor? Check swing, wild pitch behind the plate. Victor, go, go, go. Safe. We'll take a cheap one. And he had to look at the ump, and the ump said, go to first. And then he ran there and ran it out. It was a check swing. Catcher couldn't find the ball. Robles said, shit, I better run. There we go. Nice hustle, Victor, and he ran it out. Nice job. Maybe we get a little bit of insurance now. Runner at first with no outs. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We need to win. 15-1 yesterday. We didn't forget. Let's go, baby. Bring that electricity. Next up, Jorge Polanco. Now they got Vest in the game for the Tigers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Big swing and a miss behind in the count. 0-2. We need 5 more likes to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Only 4 more before the game ends. We need 4 more to get the goal. We're at 26. Let's get to 30. And we're at 40. 60 more to hit the goal on the Dono train. That one chopped foul behind in the count. 0-2. Top of the 8th, 1-0 Mariners. And I will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. For the rubber match between the Mariners and the Tigers. Bryce Miller will be on the mound, and hopefully we'll play with some energy tomorrow and some intensity. Oh, 2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brian Wu, magnificent, man. He's playing like the best pitcher on the roster, and that's saying something. When you got Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, all-star this year, George Kirby, all-star kind of player. Impressive. One-two pitch. Dribbler towards first base, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's go, baby. I don't think I'm that surprised about Brian Wu, but I am surprised on how good the Tigers did with their pitching staff today. After, giving us an ass whooping of 15-1, it kind of felt like they could be, maybe a 3-1 kind of game, something like that. And we're sitting here in the 8th with a 1-0 game, and sometimes you got to grind it out after a big, big performance. But no Justin Turner in the lineup, which was something that I was hoping to see, and hopefully Justin Turner will be playing tomorrow. 1-2 pitch. Polo fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Polo. You're already the unexpected hero. And we mentioned that at the beginning of the game, that this could be the player that is the unexpected hero, and maybe he'll go yard today or tomorrow. And he was the guy in the 2-hole. It was a little weird to see him there in the 2 spot. He was there earlier in the year with JP, Jorge, and Julio. So JP, obviously, is normally the 1. Jorge was a 2 at the beginning of the year. Little dribbler, double play attempt, no throw, 1 away. Runner advances to second, Victor Robles. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. This team is such a joy to watch now since we have Victor and Randy, Julio back. JP will be back very, very soon, right? and obviously getting a guy like Justin Turner. I mean, it seems like everything has changed, prior to having those guys and now having those guys. A lot more enjoyable here. Brian in the building. What's good? Top of the 8th, 1-0 Seattle. Pitches inside, tried to jam the hitter by Vest. 2 balls and no strikes. Runner at second with 1 out. Come on, Mariners, let's go. If we can get to 3, I'll feel comfortable. Anything that's at 1 or 2, all it's going to take is a good half inning and then we might lose. So, and we got to see how our bullpen looks after Wu goes out. Wu's done. So too bad Wu can't just, pitch the whole game based on how he's been playing lately. Safe at third. Wow, did you see that? Incredible play. Yeah, we got a lot of dudes that are in the farm system, but, Durangelo as being a pitcher from both sides. Wow, and he throws to third. And how did they not tag him there? Unbelievable. Runners on first and third. Shitty throw from the pitcher from Vest, out of position, and Robles sneaks into third base. Unbelievable. That should have been an error. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. This would be a great time for a 3-run blast for Cal Raleigh to make it 4-0, and there will be no questions. Nail in the coffin. Easy in the building, what's good? AM in the building, what's good? Yeah, but Lazaro Montez, Harry Ford, Cole Young, Colt Emerson. We got a lot of guys. And then you still got guys, like Tyler Locklear, Ryan Bliss, still waiting for, their moment. This team is stacked, and I've never seen this team this deep ever. So it's a nice thing to be able to look forward to in the next 10 to 20 years being a Seattle Mariner fan. Good things are coming. 1-1 pitch to Cal. Fouls that one back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Appreciate you, Easy. Let me know what you want to do for a photo, and I got you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. We're at 42, 58 to go. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Easy, AM, and Brian. I only need a few more likes to get to 30. So if the 3 of you could smash the like button for me, we'll get to our goal. We want to get to 30 to 50 on every stream. Cal pops up. And that is foul. All right, we're at 29. We need 1 more like to hit the goal for the stream to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. We're at 29. We need 1 more to get to 30, and then hopefully somewhere between 30 and 40 for the stream. Nice. Yeah, I watch a lot of I don't watch full games of the farm system, where it's like Modesto Nuts or the Tacoma Rainiers or the Everett Aqua Sox or the Arkansas team. But I'm always keeping up, on social media, and I always follow the player developmental for the Mariners. So anytime they end up showing, like home runs or RBIs or big hits or whatever it may be, it always comes up on my timeline. So I make sure I'm reading, I'm doing the vlogs and the blogs. I'm also making sure I'm watching as much video as possible since I'm not watching in the full games. Not many people are unless you're actually there in person. But things are looking pretty good for our guys in the farm, especially Colt. Lazaro Montez kind of took a step back, but everyone else is progressing nicely. Harry Ford, obviously with, Cole Young and Colt Emerson. Top of the 8th, 1-0 Mariners. Runners on the corners, first and third with 1 out. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Vest to Cal Raleigh. Let's go, big dumper. Dumper fouls that one back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The MVP of the Seattle Mariners, even though we thought it was Julio, this guy is irreplaceable. There is no other player that we could get, even though we got Harry Ford waiting in the wings. But I'll tell you this, Harry Ford is not going to be as good as Cal Raleigh. He's not going to have the leadership. He's not going to have the size. He's not going to give you the same type of home runs. He's going to be more of a singles hitter like Buster Posey, which isn't bad because we know how good Buster Posey was for the Giants when they went on their run, right? With Madison Bumgarner, Buster Posey, they had some killers over there on the Giants, especially against the Dodgers and everyone else, right? Cal is irreplaceable. Pay that man. Make him the highest paid catcher in baseball. And again, if he's going to lead the league in home runs in his first 3 years, and the only people are complaining because his batting average is around 200 to 220, I mean, the whole team sucks at hitting, you know? But if he's leading the team in RBIs and fucking home runs, and he's the leader, obviously, with all the pitchers, and he calls the best game, and he's one of the best defensive catchers. I mean, how many categories do you need to lead before other fans realize that Cal is the real deal? You know, he doesn't have the coolest nickname in baseball, and that's it. You know, he's more than just a nickname. And I think fans will eventually learn, especially when we start making deep runs in the playoffs, hopefully every year. More and more fans, you know, that don't watch Seattle Mariner baseball will be like, wow, you know, Julio might be the most popular, but Cal might be the best player overall. Special player. I mean, he's doing things that we haven't seen since like Mike Piazza. Bases loaded, baby. Next up, DHing for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Are we going to get a grand salami? Get the mustard and rye bread for Julio? More than likely not, but it would be awesome if he did. Even just getting an RBI double and bringing in 2 to make it 3-0, that could get us the win. Don't injure yourself, Julio. Julio might be out. And that's why we had him at DH instead of center field. You don't want to rush a guy. That photo is not good enough of our boy, Colt. There we go. That's better. Julio's tough, but we don't want to re-aggravate anything. Top of the 8th, bases loaded with 1 out. Let's go. Our boys. 3-0 count to Julio. Be electric, my guy. Don't injure yourself. Let's go, baby. Let's go, J-Rod. We just got you back. JP, a couple weeks away. Let's go. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike with the bases loaded in the top of the 8th. 1-0 Mariners with 1 out. Julio. Yeah, baby. There we go. Nice job, Julio. try to jam him, and that's what, most pitchers do to Julio, right? They jam him, and if Julio can learn to flip that wrist quickly, that he can end up doing things like that on a regular basis, and that no longer will be a disadvantage for Julio. It'll be an advantage for him. Bases loaded, 2-0 Mariners. Let's go. Nice job, Julio. Fuck yeah. After almost injuring himself right there. Hey, it wasn't a grand salami, no mustard and rye bread, but hey, to be able to get a single and to bring in one, I like it. I like it. Nice job, J-Rod, my boy. Let's go. Even JP loves it. Let's go. Let's go. Can't wait for JP to come back. Let's get it, baby. Our boys. Future is bright. Let's get it. I can't wait until we get, a lot of those guys up, too, to see how they compete with the rest of the other guys, with the Harry Fords and the, Cole Youngs and the Colt Emerson, because in all honesty, Harry Ford, when he's ready, and Cole Young and Colt Emerson, they could start, so there's going to be kind of a log jam, and we're going to have to decide on certain players, that might have to take a step back, whether that's Josh Rojas, whether that's Dylan Moore, Mitch Haniger, and if those guys have to take a step back for those guys to go forward, to have the best lineup from top to bottom, it's going to be really fucking exciting here in the next few years. Julio got jammed, a little blooper into left field, and we had bases loaded. The runner from third, Robles, scored. 2-0 Mariners. Yeah, Randy's a big fan everywhere. And then obviously if you saw him in the World Baseball Classic, he became like a megastar over there. If you ended up watching that particular tournament, he's always been a very likable guy, lots of aura and lots of vibe. And the cool thing is that we got three guys that have aura and vibe. Victor is like a Julio. Randy is like a Julio. And then you get a guy like Justin Turner, even though some people thought he was old and he couldn't do it anymore, but he's showing you, even as an old vet, he's positive and he can get the job done. So, we brought in the right guys and we're having the success that we deserve. Let's go, baby. Next up, Nuke Rayleigh. Let's go, Luke. Luke was struggling like Rojas, for the last couple months, but Luke is starting to turn it around. Let's go. One ball and one strike to Luke Rayleigh. I like Luke's hustle. That's one thing I really like about Luke Rayleigh. Always hustling. Him and Cal have a great friendship. And it's all about hustle and energy and determination, and putting out 100% effort no matter what. And a lot of times when you see certain batters that don't hustle to first, nothing gets me angrier than that. Because you never know when the throw to first might be off and you might be able to, get on base and that could be the winning run, or you might be able to move a guy over. And one thing about Luke, out of a lot of the players on the Mariners that I've seen, he hustles all the time. And I really appreciate that. Top of the 8, 2-0 Mariners, bases loaded with one out. Nuke Rayleigh in the box. Luke Nukem. Let's go. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Big strikeout by Miller. There goes Luke. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K. Right fielder, Mitch Haniger. Stand with Ukraine in the building. What's good? If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Last time I checked, I think we were one away from 30. Where are we at now? Are we over 30? Hopefully. $58 to hit the goal. We're at 31. Thank you so much. 9 more to hit the goal to get to 40. 8 more to get to the goal. We're at 32. 8 more to get to 40. And that'll be the final goal of the night. Chopper foul with bases loaded. 1 ball and 1 strike. To our guy, Mitch Haniger. And, he was one of the lowest rated right fielders at the beginning of the season in the entire league. But within the last 10 days, he's had 2 walk-offs. A walk-off walk and a bases clearing double for us to win. So sometimes it's those unexpected players that end up being the heroes, like a Jorge Polanco or a Mitch Haniger. And sometimes, you never know what you're going to get out of a player like that. They may not produce every day, but they will produce sometimes in the most clutch moment, and it's very unexpected. 2-1 pitch from Miller to Haniger. Pitch is inside. Good eyes by Mitch. 3 balls and 1 strike. We're at 42, 58 to go. In the zone for a strike, right on the line. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And enjoy your day off, Matt. Tomorrow I'll be live at 10 a.m. And then on Friday, on Paisley's birthday, we're going to be live at 3:30 Pacific, Apple TV Plus exclusive. And it's going to be an amazing matchup between Logan Gilbert, our all-star, and Paul Skeens, the all-star for the Pirates, the rookie. Can't wait for that matchup. Hopefully we don't get fucking obliterated. Haniger, high fly ball into right field. Bierling is there, but the damage is done by Julio, even though he almost got hurt. 2-0 Mariners. Looking like we might be able to get this win, baby. 3-0 would have made me feel great. 2-0 makes me feel a little bit comfortable, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. But again, we want to be able to win this to have a chance to win the series tomorrow. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Tigers. I didn't like see Julio kind of tweak his leg there, but at least he was able to stay in the game and came up with the biggest clutch hit so far today. Nice job, Julio. And again, if Julio can ever figure out how to hit inside, like just maybe positioning his body like one step back, so when people try to jam him, he can still get hits, or if he can just flip his wrists around and work on that in the offseason, then there's not going to be any weakness, because that's really the only weakness has for Julio is, when pitchers pitch inside to him, he folds. But if he can figure out how to, hit when people pitch him inside, game over. Then he'll be able to rake, just like our guys here in the future. Next up for the Tigers, 0 for 2 with a K, shortstop, Zach McKinstry. Batting second, 0 for 2, catcher, Jake Rogers. Stash from the past, baby. And batting third, right fielder, Matt Vierling. Looks like Garcia is coming in for Wu. And Dominic Canzone is coming into the game as well for Julio Rodriguez. But obviously Julio is DHing, so that's fine. Let's go, baby. Let's win this game. I would assume Munoz in the 9th, yes. Garcia in the 8th, Munoz in the 9th. Megan with a tour. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos once we go into the commercial break, and I got you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you. Appreciate you. Brian Wu, spectacular. Best pitcher on the Mariners right now, today. It's our boy, Brian Wu. Not bad for a guy that started off as being the 5th pitcher in the rotation, worked his way up to 3rd, and now is battling Logan Gilbert and George Kirby as being the best pitcher on the Mariners right now. Impressive. Is going to improve his win column to 6-1 record, best record on the Mariners, and his ERA is down to 2.06 from 2.27. Nice job, Brian. You're the man. Now we got Jimmy Garcia in the game, who actually I like this pickup that was from the Blue Jays. Dribbler towards third, foul. Garcia might be one of the only guys I trust. Got him. Smoked his ass. McKinstry, sit down. Let's go. And hopefully we'll get more opportunities for some good Jimmy Garcia photos. Nice job from the Blue Jays to the Mariners. See you later. McKinstry had no chance there. Good job, Cal. Down goes McKinstry, 1 away. Next up, catcher Jake Rogers. Shows you how much of a difference the game is when Cal Raleigh plays and he's the catcher and when he doesn't. It's like when we don't have Cal in the game at all, if he's DHing when Garver is playing catcher, that's one thing. But when you don't have Cal playing at all, and he's not catching, not good. Shows you how important Cal is to this team. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Seattle with 1 away. 0-2 count from Garcia to Rogers, and Garcia is probably the most, I guess, guys that you can give enough trust to, trustworthy. Number one trustworthy player obviously is Andres Munoz, but number 2, I would probably say it's Jimmy Garcia. I don't think there's a player that's better than him at this point. It's not like we have Paul Sewald anymore, Popped up. Arostarena is there in left field. 2 away. Nasty, man. Rogers flied out to left. Next up, right fielder, Matt Vierling. 1 for 3. Let's make it 1 for 4. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's get to that 40 like column, baby. And I will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. I know it'll be a little early for some. 3 more likes to get to 35. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we're at 33. 2 more to get to 35. 7 more to get to 40. Let's go. Huge, especially since Stanek ended up being a bust. So getting rid of Stanek and not keeping him on the roster with all the problems that we have with, Voth and Thornton and all the rest, Sauce. So it's nice to be able to actually have a guy that goes in there that we trust. And, even though we have maybe 6-7 guys in the bullpen, really there's only 2 guys that we can trust game in and game out, and this is one of them. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Mariners. 2 outs, 1-1 pitch to Matt Vierling. 1-1 pitch, pitches inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Come on, Jimmy. Big swing and a miss. Woo! Jimmy, wheeling and dealing, baby. Let's go. And hopefully he'll get more opportunities to play so I can throw him up in a Mariner uniform. But they don't got any good Mariner photos of him yet. He hasn't got to play too much lately, but when he has played, he's been good. That one fouled back into the crowd. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Vierling. Plus, we ended up losing 15-1. We need a little payback. And again, if we can win today and tomorrow, that would be the perfect payback for us. Get your ass kicked in game 1, win games 2 and 3. 2 pitch. Would have been strike 3 if he didn't swing. Fouls that one off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's go, baby. 2 more likes to get to 35, baby. Let's go. 7 more to 40. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Mariners. 2-2 pitch. Popped up into right field. Haniger. All the way back to the wall. Ground rule double. Damn it. Jimmy. Nice hit by Vierling. He's definitely a sleeper player for this Tiger team. Good hit by him. And if you're just tuning in the top of the 5th, Polanco single to left. Moore scored 1-0 Mariners. And then just about a couple minutes ago in the top of the 8th with the bases loaded, Rodriguez got jammed, but he ended up singling to left. Robles scored 2-0 Seattle. Nice job by Vierling. One of their more consistent hitters on the team. Next up, DHing for the Tigers, Kerry Carpenter. Had 2 home runs yesterday. We have to be very careful how we pitch to him. Michael in the building. What's good? Let's go. Fantastic job by our boy, Brian Wu. Wheeling and dealing, baby. Now we just got to see if Jimmy Garcia can play like Brian. Let's go. Crowd is into it now. here at Comerica Park. 0 for 3 with 3 Ks after hitting 2 home runs yesterday. Michael's first time on the channel. It took him 10 seconds to donate. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Sounds like he's going to do it, and he's already showing the love. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $2 holla. And usually when people donate to the channel, we'll throw up photos of whatever your favorite thing is. If you got a favorite player on the Mariners, past or present, let me know, and I'll throw up some HD 4K photos for you. Appreciate you, Michael. Took him 10 seconds to donate. That's a lot faster than most. Appreciate you. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Mariners. Runner at second with 2 outs. 1-1 count from Jimmy Garcia to Kerry Carpenter. We're at 46, 54 to go to hit the goal. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is low and inside at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Especially when the Mariners, continue to get better and better and better. Since I'm really the only one that does almost every game of Seattle, we're going to be able to grow and grow and grow. And, if the Mariners can ever get to a point where they're like in the World Series, then the channel may blow up. So, and if we win the World Series, then I know there'll be a little bit of a blow up. So we just got to be able to be faithful and be consistent, and eventually our day will come. 2-2 pitch from Jimmy Garcia to Kerry Carpenter. Carpenter, back, gone! Oh, no. And just like that, the game is tied. Kerry Carpenter, 3 home runs in 2 games, and Jimmy Garcia fucks up from the very first time in a Seattle Mariner uniform. Tough. DX with a 4. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Now we're really going to have to dig this one out. All the momentum completely disappeared from Seattle, and now Detroit has it. And that's why you got to be careful when you pitch to a guy like Kerry Carpenter, maybe their guy on the Tigers that has the most pure swing. And again, his first game back in 2 months, he hit 2 home runs yesterday and hit another one here today. And that's a very rare bad pitch by Jimmy Garcia. So now we're down to one good pitcher, Andres Munoz, and now we don't have anybody else we can count on? Jimmy, what happened? I mean, it's not as bad as Stanek and some of the rest, but God, terrible timing. Fuck. And just like that, the Tigers are right back in to fucking sweep us. 0-2 pitch. And if they were smart, right, they should have walked him. Anytime a guy has 2 home runs in his first game back, even though he was 0 for 2, 0 for 3 at that point, that probably would have been the smarter move. But again, when you got a guy like Jimmy Garcia, you're just like, fuck it, roll the dice. He ain't going to homer, but then he did. And not only did he homer, there was a guy on. So it made it even worse. Now, instead of the game being 2-1, now it's tied. All right, now we're going to the bottom of the 9th. Kerry Carpenter, the MVP in the game so far. And hopefully we can get something out of Rojas, Moore, and Robles. Fuck. Well, we definitely need a hero to step up now because the momentum has shifted. It was the Mariners for 8 innings, and then now it's Detroit. It's crazy how that ends up happening. We can't lose with Brian Wu on the mound. You can't have a guy pitch like that and then lose like that. Come on. Next up, 0 for 3. You need to get a hit, my guy. Otherwise, you're going to get booed. Third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Demo is about to take your job once JP comes back. Batting second, shortstop, Demo Dylan Moore. And batting third, center fielder, Victor Robles. Come on, Mariners. Someone's got to step up. Dak has a good stat line. There's always going to be arguments, but 36-9, last year, pretty good stats. It's just that we know that Dak and the Cowboys can't come up in the clutch when it matters the most in the playoffs. But 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, 9 picks, that's a pretty good year for Dak. And then last year, Geno went 20 touchdowns and 9 picks. So if you're basing it off last year's stats, Dak was better. Dak ended up having 1,000 more yards and, 13 more touchdowns with the same amount of picks. So, but the year before that, we saw Geno with 30 touchdowns and 11 picks in 2022. So I think both quarterbacks are top 12 quarterbacks, but it really depends on, who you like. Top of the 9th, 2 balls, 2 strikes incoming for Foley. But right now, it's a 2-2 game. Mariners and Tigers, top of the 9th, 1-0 pitch to Hollywood, Josh Rojas. PJ in the building, what's good? Yeah, Geno is much better than people think. But again, if they want to hate, let them hate. You're still going to be able to play good football and, might have not worked out on other teams that he was on, but you can tell this is a good fit. And he's right there, with guys like Dak and Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield and a few others. So, Kirk Cousins, not everyone is going to be a Patrick Mahomes. So, and that's okay. Uh-oh. Rojas about to go 0 for 4 today. Popped up, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, shortstop Dylan Moore. Come on, Demo. We need a miracle. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's see where we're at on the likes. Where are we at? We're at 34. We need 6 more to get to 40. You haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we're at 35. 5 more before the game ends would be great. Let's go, baby. And we're at 50. 50 to go. Halfway to the dono goal. 5 likes away from the goal for the like. Yep. And that has something to do with it too, for sure. Better offensive line, will definitely help quite a bit. But I'll tell you one thing, and that's true. The Seahawks won't have the 29th O-line this year. They'll be better this year. Just high and outside. To Demo, 3 balls and no strikes. Pitch right down the middle from Foley. 3 balls and 1 strike to Demo, Dylan Moore. Seriously, definitely could have went against us there. Defense should be better as well, especially with Byron up front. I'm really excited to see the damage that he does. Jaden in the building, what's good? 3-1 pitch. Don't be negative, Zach. We already just lost it with Jimmy Garcia. We got to be positive. We can't be a negative Nelly. Probably still going to strike out. All right? We got to be positive. We got to see if we can get on base with a walk, hit by a pitch. It doesn't even have to be a single, double, triple, or home run. Be positive, my guy. Come on, Zach. 3-2 pitch. Demo pops up. Not a strikeout, Zach. 2 away. Come on, Zach. Throwing that bad juju in the air. Next up for the Mariners, with 2 outs, Victor Robles. Congratulations on the 2-year extension. You're a perfect fit for Seattle. Let's go. Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count, 0-1. Top of the 9th, 2-2, Mariners and Tigers. Mariners in firm control of the game until the last inning when Kerry Carpenter bombed a 2-run blast to tie the game up. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Well, baseball and sports in general, it's a game of runs and momentum. And we had the momentum for 8 innings. And just in that last half inning, the Tigers took it all back. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is high at the face, inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We can't afford to lose this fucking game after the way Bryan Woo pitched. We have to find a way to win this game in extras. One-two pitch. And there is strike 3 on Victor Robles. Not this prototypical game that Victor typically has as well. All right, we're going to the bottom of the 9th, and hopefully we don't give up the game here, and we can find a way to win it in the 10th or the 11th. And we got an early start tomorrow at 10 a.m., and Bryce Miller's on the mound, and we traditionally don't play good in the morning. So hopefully, we can find a way to, irk this one out somehow, some way. But now we're probably not going to see Andres Munoz because the game is tied, so we might lose. If it was just a solo shot by Kerry Carpenter, maybe Munoz comes out, but we're not going to have Munoz now. So now it might be over, but we'll find out. Hopefully we can find a way. Dig deep. Be positive. Next up for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 9th with the 2-2 tie, 0 for 3, Gio Urshela. Batting second, 1 for 3, first baseman Bly Madris. And batting third, 0 for 3 with the K, center fielder Parker Meadows. Let's go Mariners. And if you're just tuning in the top of the 5th, Polanco singled to left, Moore scored 1-0 Seattle. And in the top of the 8th, they tried to jam Julio with the bases loaded. He singled to left. Robles scored 2-0 Mariners. And then in the bottom of the 8th, Kerry Carpenter came up with a home run to right, 385 feet with Veerling on board, and the game now is tied 2-2. And at least the game is close compared to yesterday when we ended up getting our ass kicked 15-1 with Skubal on the mound. So, again, Bryan Woo had an amazing performance today as well. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 Ks, 85 pitches, 61 strikes, and a 5-1 record with an ERA of 2, but it might still not be enough to win this game. But hopefully we can find a way. As long as we have more positive comments and instead of Zach saying that we're going to strike out, maybe we'll find a way to win. Bottom of the 9th. Oh, Munoz is in. Wow. They actually brought him in. Interesting. This is a must-win game for us. Like button on the screen. On the stream itself. Five more likes to 40. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. We need 5 more likes to get to 40. Jam the hitter. Throw to first. Big. Gio Urshela didn't even try right there. We'll take that. He kind of jammed him inside, and Urshela just kind of looked at it and said, fuck it, I guess I'm out. We'll take it. No effort by Gio. Next up, first baseman Bly Madris. And I know he went off balance there, but he still could have put some effort running to first. Next up, Bly Madris. Let's get out of this inning, Munoz. Madris chops that one foul. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Pitch is low at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike for Munoz. Come on, Andres. You might be the only one that we can trust. I thought we could trust Jimmy Garcia until that 2-run blast, and normally he doesn't do things like that, but, Kerry Carpenter is a G, and that's what happens when you end up missing a couple months and you hit 2 home runs in your first game back. You're hot, and the hot streak continues. One ball and 2 strikes. Like Bly Madris. Come on, baby. Punch him out. Got him. Let's go, baby. You know what it is? All-star. One of the best closers in the game, Andres Munoz. Let's keep it going. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Next up is Parker Meadows, one of my favorite players on the Tigers. 6'5", young, can rob home runs like Julio, and he's got a good knack in the box. Love me some Parker Meadows. Pitches outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, he had a good batting average, obviously, before the injury. What do you mean? It's not Spencer Torkelson? 3-0 count. Got a jam, Parker. You can't throw it to him right down the middle and outside. You got to jam him. Jam him inside. 3-0 pitch. At the top of the corner for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Three-one pitch from Munoz to Meadows. There we go. We popped him up. Robles is there. Extra innings, baby. So do we get Munoz in the 10th inning also? Because I feel like if we have him in the 10th also, that'll give us a really good shot, but I'm not sure if that will end up happening. End of the 9th inning, 2-2. We're knotted up. That might give us a good chance to actually get the goals associated here. All right, let's see who's up for the Mariners. Who's going to be a hero for Seattle? I hate to see pitchers, do what they do, like Brian Wu today, and then if we end up losing this game. Life is unfair. You got a guy that was 5th in the rotation, right? And we knew that he had talent, but then ended up, having some injuries, and then started to find his way, and then now is a better pitcher than Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller, and you could argue he might be the best pitcher on the Mariners staff, even over Logan Gilbert and George Kirby today. I don't want to see a guy that puts in all that effort, drop games in the last 2 times that he started. The Mariners need to help him out. Come on. Next up for the Mariners in the 2-hole, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a base on ball. Could he be the unexpected hero? Second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Trident's up. 1 Trident photo. How about 2? Let's get it. Batting second, left fielder, Randy Rosarina. Let's go, Randy. And batting third, big dumper, Cal Raleigh, MVP of the Mariners, the best clutch hitter in the 7th inning and beyond. Electricity flowing through his veins. Let's go, Cal. Trident's up. Bring that energy and electricity. Let's win this game. Let's go. With a name like Harold Cheeseburger, you don't deserve to be on the channel. I'm sorry. 2-2, Mariners and Tigers, top of the 10th. Harold Cheeseburger. Fuck out of here. 1 for 3 with an RBI and a base on ball. Victor Robles at second. Let's go, Jorge. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 count. Bye, Cheeseburger. I mean, if that's the first thing that you're going to say on the channel, you got to be very wise on this channel. First comment, second comment, that might be the last comment you ever make on this channel, period. It's not like every other channel where you can be a keyboard warrior and say whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't work like that here. I care about subs a lot, but I want to have the right people here. And a lot of times you can really tell what a person is about based off their first couple comments, especially if they're brand new to the channel. 1-1 pitch. Check swing, got a little piece of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Holton to Polanco. Harold Cheeseburger. I'll show you what you can do, Harold. Pow, pow! And just like that, you're gone. Top of the 10th, 2-2, Mariners and Tigers. Runner at second with no outs. 1-2 count from Holton to Polo. 1-2 pitch, and Polo goes down swinging. It's okay, Polo. We have a love-hate relationship with you, but I don't feel that people are going to boo you for the rest of the season based on how you played on defense and offense as of late. Next up, left fielder, 0 for 3 with a base on ball and a K. Randy Arosarena. Let's go, Randy. Pitch is low in the zone. Called ball, 1 ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch. Big swing and a miss for Arosarena. 1 ball and 1 strike. Come on, baby. Give me that swag. Give me that energy. Come on, Randy. The funny thing is when you get people being negative or trolling or trying to be a keyboard warrior, we actually give more praise to the opposing players and opposing teams in the streams than any other channel on YouTube. So if you actually knew that going in, a lot of these people wouldn't be saying that type of thing. But again, they're so conditioned in this TikTok era to be rude and think that they can get away with it wherever they are, in real life or on the keyboard, on the computer. You get what you sow. You reap what you sow. You get what you get. 2-1 pitch, inside, should have been a ball, called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. Melting the brains of the youth in America and beyond, TikTok. 2-2 pitch from Holton to Arosarena. Chopper towards third base, foul. I mean, at least in the other countries, they're using it for good purposes. Educational videos, how to fix shit, wholesome content instead of people dancing and doing pranks and learning nothing. 2-2 pitch in a 2-2 game in the top of the 10th. Runner at second. Randy, dribbler to third, foul. Yeah, the ump is definitely, we can say the umps have been bad every game, every, matchup that we've seen all year. Some are much worse than others. Thank God Angel Hernandez retired, but a glimmer of his legacy still lives in every ump, I feel. Like a lot of times balls are strikes, strikes are balls, and the strike zone is smaller or bigger for every ump, and there's always going to be 4 or 5 bad calls every game. Big swing and a miss. Holton says, see you later, Arosarena, 2 away. Next up, for the Mariners, 0 for 2, 2 base on balls and a K. The most clutch hitter on the Mariners in the 7th inning and beyond. The MVP for the Seattle Mariners. A great defensive player, a great offensive player, a great fucking leader, Cal fucking Raleigh. First one fouled off. Let's go, Cal. Let's go, big dumper. Go, baby. Find a way. Dig deep. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. 2 chips, 1 Pepsi. Belushi. Let's go, Cal. Three more likes to 40. Let's get there. Cal pops it up, and that'll be the end of the top of the 10th. All right, here goes the Tigers' chance to win this game in 10. Hopefully we can get this game to go to 11 or 12. And it looks like Colin Snyder is coming out, not Munoz, so that could be the end of us right here. If we had Munoz pitching again, I like our chances to get to the next inning. But if you bring in Colin Snyder, it's 50-50. He's either going to get out of this or we're going to lose. So, and it probably, chances are, depending on who's up for them, we might lose unless it's like the end of the lineup. Let's take a look where they're at. We might have a chance. Only because we're at the bottom of the lineup. If it was in the top or the middle of the Tigers lineup, this game is over. More than likely. But with the lineup where it is now, I think we have a chance. Next up for the Tigers, even though he's had a good game today. 2 for 3 with a K. Left fielder, Justin Henry Malloy. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks in the 8-hole. Shortstop, Zach McKinstry. And batting third, 0 for 3 today, but did homer, the stash from the past. He might look like a guy that rides a Harley or an Indian. Catcher, Jake Rogers. So we're going to have a chance here. But again, with Colin Snyder pitching, it might not matter what part of the lineup we're in. You know, you might see Malloy get a hit. You might see McKinstry get walked, and maybe Rogers hits a home run. I mean, it's very plausible. So hopefully we can find a way to hang on here. Not really sure I like the idea of Snyder pitching in this situation, but we'll see. Ay, ay, ay. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Don't be a Harold Cheeseburger. Be a Reflect. Be a Captain Oreo. Be a Megan. Be a Kevin and Brandy. Let's go. 2 more likes to hit the goal to get to 40. Let's go, baby. 2 more. I know some of y'all got backup accounts. Let's go, baby. Be an MSU Detroit fan. Let's go. Oh, God. Colin Snyder. Ugh. First pitch is outside. 1-0 count. Come on, Colin. I got a fire photo of you. All right, let's go. Come on. At least it's not blurry. Come on, baby. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. I like that. Good job, Colin. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one popped foul. Couple sweepers. Street sweepers. We're in the bottom of the 10th with a runner at second. 2-2 game. No outs. 1-2 count for Colin Snyder. Let's go. Meadows, the runner at second. Justin Henry Malloy in the box. Reflect with a 5-er. Let's go. We needed him. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Let's go. Sweeper, sweeper, sweeper. Street sweeper. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Colin. Two pitch. Pitch is low at the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Please, Maurice, help us. All right, we need a rally. Come on. Get his ass. 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. Terrible. Uh-oh. This is not good. Should have went with Andres Munoz. Another fuck up by Scott Service. Pitching guys too long. Pulling guys too early. That is the MO for Scott. Now we got to pray for a double play, baby. Next up for the Tigers, shortstop Zach McKinstry. Don't do this to Brian Wu. Don't do him dirty like this. Pitching one of the best games of his fucking life, and then this is what we do to repay him? Come on. We lost 15-1 yesterday. Come on. Bunt attempt up in the air. Out of play. Bottom of the 10th, 2-2, Mariners and Tigers. Runners at first and second. 0-1 pitch, bunt attempt. Foul. Golly. And see how the bunt can come into play? You know, like I said, bunting is such an impactful part of the game. And if you do it often and in the right time, it could be really a killer to that other team. Well, you know, honestly, if I had more people that would support and listen to the people that are the lead mod and that actually would do those things, then we wouldn't have to worry about that, you know. But if I have to be able to speak up to get it done, you know, and to be able to get us to the next level, then I got to do what I got to do. Because normally I wouldn't do that, you know, with the other previous mod that I had. But what ended up happening is people stopped listening to her and they didn't donate and they didn't hit the like button. So at some point, you know, when you end up having a job as a full-time streamer, sometimes those are the things that need to be done. Now, if people start actually doing the likes and on their own, then I won't have to say it, you know, or if they start listening to Matt in the chat. But until that happens, I'm going to have to do what I got to do. And you always have the option to watch the stream, and you have the option not to be here. You know, if you feel that it's too much for you, you can always watch Tiger games somewhere else. You know, that's the bottom line. You want to watch it here with us, you can watch it here with us. If you don't want to watch it, then you can always watch somewhere else. So, I mean, you have the freedom to do whatever you want at your computer or your phone, you know. But again, there's always going to be a reasoning on what we do here. And again, if I need to be able to be more vocal to take the channel to another level because people aren't listening to the lead mod or not listening at all, I have to do what I got to do. You know, this is unfortunately not your channel but mine. So, bottom of the 10th, runners at first and second, 2-2 game. Runner at first and second with one away. Next up is Badu. Trust me, if I didn't have to fucking vocalize it, you know, at all, that's what I would prefer. You know, I've been doing this shit for fucking 12 years. I've been full-time for 3. It took me 10 years to go full-time. And I would love for the lead mods to actually get listened to, you know, when they are typing in the chat and they're working hard. But unfortunately, if we're not getting the results and the people are in the room, sometimes I got to step up and be able to get the results. Otherwise, you know, then we're just going to be stuck at fucking 20 likes for the rest of my life. And when you're doing this full-time, that's not going to cut it. So, especially when the more likes that you get, you know, the more, you know, you hit the algorithm and the metrics, and then you can get more people to the channel. So you have to understand there's a reasoning why shit is done. You know, I would prefer not to even say it once in a whole stream, but unfortunately, people don't listen to the mods all the time. Facts. Bottom of the 10th, 2-2, Mariners and Tigers, runners at first and second with one out. 0-2 pitch to Badu. But the funny thing is since I've been able to say it, you know, we've gone from 20 to 25 likes to 30 to 60. So obviously, you know, it might be repetitive for you. And if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. Okay. But I got to do what's best for me on the channel. And if it's what's best for me is to do that and it gets results, I'm going to do it. Popped up over his head, and the game is over. Badu with the game-winning hit. Final, Detroit 3, Seattle Mariners 2. Terrible. GG to the Tigers. Badu, great job. And another game slipping through our fingers for the Seattle Mariners. And we play tomorrow at 10 a.m. And hopefully we don't get swept. But GG to all the Tiger fans. You guys earned it. You deserved it. And that's why you don't go to Colin Snyder late in the game and you end up going to Andres Munoz for 2 back-to-back innings for that exact reason. You know, our bullpen is very shaky. We can't trust too many people. And lo and behold, Brian Woo's amazing outing for nothing. That's tough. And can we get the Astros to lose once in a while? Golly. Brutal. Brutal. Well, hopefully tomorrow will be better. We got Bryce Miller on the mound. Last time he pitched against the Mets, he was good. So we'll see where it goes. Final score, Detroit Tigers 3, Seattle Mariners 2. Any photos that you guys want me to be able to throw up here at the end for the people that donated, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to be able to hopefully get past this. And again, the person that I feel the worst about is Brian Wu. Because again, you don't want a guy to pitch electric the whole game and then have it come down, to a couple bad pitches, and that's exactly what happened. But again, when you got a guy like Kerry Carpenter, missed a couple months, came into the game yesterday, blasted 2 home runs on George Kirby, and then ended up being the late inning hero, normally like Cal Raleigh does for us, and Kerry was the MVP. He doesn't hit that 2-run blast, we probably end up winning 2-1 or 2-0. But since the simple fact that Carpenter was big yesterday, 2 home runs, 1 home run today, it is what it is. And hopefully we'll be able to recoup and recover, and we'll be able to, do something tomorrow. But traditionally, the Mariners are terrible in the morning for games. So hopefully Bryce will eat his Wheaties, wake up early, and then we'll see where it goes. Bye, Dustin. And the thing is, even though that if we bat 200 to 220, that's what we were in the last 2 years. In 2022, when we made the playoffs, we were batting 200 to 220. Last year, we were batting 200 to 220 with Kelenic, Teoscar, and Eugenio Suarez, and we're still batting 200 to 220. So it's not like we went from 200 to 220 to 100 to 120. So, again, when you still got one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, and you got Justin Turner, you got Victor Robles, you got Randy Arozarena, we got JP coming back soon, and Julio, we're not going to win all the games, but we're not as bad as people think. And sometimes, a team has your number. And the big part of the problem is the bullpen. That's really the weak link, for the Mariners. But again, if you want to be a hater and come in here and talk shit, that's fine. But like I said, if the Mariners do make the playoffs, I'll tell you one thing: no one's going to want to play them. We might not be a World Series contender, but again, we might be able to do some damage in the playoffs if we get there. Just like the Padres, we might not be the best team. We might not be the Yankees. We might not be the Guardians or the Royals or the Twins, or the Royals and one of those other teams. But if we get into the dance, anything can happen. That's big facts. I hope that was worth it. Frodo, fuck out of here. All the haters coming in late. I love it. It's like, make sure that one comment is good enough here at the end. Dustin, Frodo, Cheeseburger, Harold. What's up with today? Man, haters coming out in full force today. Haters gonna hate, man. But again, things can get better. But again, we're not full strength. And a big part of it also, too, is Scott Service not putting the best lineup, every single day. Not pulling guys like he should pull, like George Kirby yesterday. Keeping guys in longer, instead of pulling them early. Maybe like Andres Munoz and having him go another inning. A lot of this is also managing and coaching. Scott Service isn't the greatest. So we'll see if there's any more. Any more? I got the Hollywood Hogan boot ready. Most of the time they feel their comment will just stay and they'll be able to be a part of the channel, but it doesn't work like that here. But I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very much. And again, we're not going to be poor sports about it like some other teams, when they lose. We're going to say, GG, good game. You played great. You earned it. Carpenter was the MVP. Badu, I see you. And hopefully tomorrow with Bryce Miller will be a little bit better. The way that we carry ourselves as Mariner fans is a lot different than a lot of other organizations. We respect the team. We come with class. And again, we're not going to win all the time. We're going to say GG. And, again, hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better for us. And again, we'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the rubber match, Mariners and Tigers. Matt, enjoy your day off. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang. GG Tiger fans. Final score, 3-2 in 10. Gang.